You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you triathlon studs and studettes. This is Coach Brett with another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon. I'm really excited about this show. We have some really cool content. First, we have the news with Tawnee Prazak, and it's always awesome to have her on the show. We talk about a lot of different stuff, like Crowe's disqualification at the Hawaii Half Ironman, about Macca, Chris McCormick, drafting, lots of cool news, iPhones, things like that. And then we have an interview with Brandon Marsh. And I love this interview, one, because he's a true Texan, a lone Texan, as we call him. And he's got the coolest accent. And it's he and I talking about his swim at Ironman Texas. He swam a 46-minute and change Ironman swim at Ironman Texas. He won the swim straight out against Olympians and just everybody. And we have almost an hour interview with him talking about how he does his swim training and then how he approached the swim, how he executes the swim. He also, I think he won the swim at Kona last year. So this is a really great interview. I worked really hard to get him on the show and track him down and make this one happen, because this one's really interesting and we can all learn tons from this one. And then we have emails with questions. We cover that, so there's a little bit of info in there. And then we do the full training log, where I cover lots and lots of tips and tricks on how to execute training better, and using myself as the guinea pig. That's always a huge hit, so we have that. All right, let's get started with the show. I think we should start off with the news, always with the news. And here is Tawnee Prazak. Here we go.
All right, we are here with Tawnee Prazak on the East Coast.
Hello.
How you doing?
How's the connection? Is it okay?
It was okay, except your head just froze while you were looking up, so it got kind of weird there for a moment.
I'm actually connected to this. My athlete has this like MiFi thing. Look at this. It's like a little.
Oh yeah, a Wi-Fi spot.
Yeah, because I'm staying in a condo that doesn't have Wi-Fi. So we're using that. So hopefully it holds strong for us. But I do know that compared to yesterday where I was in Delaware, there's a lot better Wi-Fi service here in Maryland. I was out at Delaware yesterday, in Milton, Delaware. Have you ever been there before?
No, but I know that Delaware is Native American for slow internet.
Yes, it was. I got to know the town of Milton very intimately, driving all around looking for good service, and did not find it. Although they are well known for one thing, and that would be Dogfish Head Brewery.
Oh, yeah.
The beer there did not disappoint whatsoever, nor did the bratwurst and all that lovely things that we indulged in.
So you got to partake?
A little bit. I don't really drink too much beer, but I am a big fan of sampling beers. So you get the little like small pours, and Dogfish Head really does interesting. Like what they actually do is like they take ancient recipes, like recipes that are thousands of years old, and they recreate them, and they add like kind of like a modern spin on them, and delicious stuff. And they had a gluten-free beer, Tweezenale. It was fabulous. I posted a picture of it yesterday on my Instagram.
Oh, that reminds me, before we get into the news, you posted something about matcha, and that you order it, and I was trying to find online. I want to try ordering it, but I don't know what brand or anything is, or what to pay, or China versus Japan. And Japan's got radiation, and China's not the real thing. You know, the word. It's like so going into the comments on, when people grade it. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Ceremonial grade.
I guess technically then I shouldn't even be swimming in the Pacific Ocean, because there's radiation from Fukushima and I'm going to die. So, Actually, okay, so that one that I bought, it came from a trusted resource, a friend of mine, Lindsay Cotter, who's married to James Cotter, the professional triathlete. And she is like health nut to the extreme, gluten-free, like super into everything that's quality. So I saw her posting it on her Instagram. I was like, all right, well, if it's good enough for her, it's good enough for me. Bam, buying. I didn't even do any research on it. I just trusted Lindy 100% on that one. So
Okay.
I haven't even tried it yet either.
Do you know what brand it is? What do you remember?
I don't know. We'll have to look at my Instagram and search back on it.
Okay. Well, cool. Because I've started using more green tea, and I was going to do matcha powder mixed into my fuel bottle and my water for caffeine. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how that works out for you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me know how that works out.
Wait, hold on. I just pulled. I'm trying to pull it up right now on my phone, so I don't want to just have like dead silence. But I can't really see the brand name there. So exciting! I know.
So this is your first time on the East Coast.
My first time on the East Coast. It so far has been awesome. There's a lot of green trees around here.
Very, compared to California, Southern California, it's like you're a flea living inside of a big green comforter or something. Yeah. Totally. So it's really humid too, right?
It's actually not. I mean, it's definitely humid. And when we got off the plane, there was like that just, oh, there it is sort of feeling. But it's not that bad. Like, I know last year Eagle Man was really, really mild conditions compared to what they've had in the past in terms of humidity and wind and all that. And so far, this year's looking to be the same way. And today, as we speak, it's Saturday, the day before the race.
Yeah.
And it's really nice outside. Like, if it's like this tomorrow, people are going to be stoked racing.
Yeah. The thing you'll notice when you get away from California and you start going east, especially East Coast and South Coast, is the weather changes dramatically hour to hour even. Yeah. And in California, it takes days for the weather to really change. And there it'll change just, in a few hours. It'll be from pleasant to, oh my God, we're all going to die, to, oh wow, this is really pretty again, like in a day.
We're all going to die.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Yeah, hopefully you can experience, like a really badass thunderstorm. So
I know we're here for a full week, so hopefully.
Oh yeah, you'll get something. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's what. Unlike California, where it takes like a week for there to be like a major shift. You'll get 2 or 3 thunderstorm events in a week in the rest of the United States. All right, you ready to cover some news? Are you there?
Start off with Crowley.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Sorry.
you were a little Skypey there for a second, but it came back.
Hope it stays. Is it doing okay?
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Crowley first. I was like totally shocked when where was I last week? I was in my car and I was like pissed at my phone because I thought the results were like getting jacked up like on the phone.
Uh-huh.
And because it was like, why is Crowley's time faster than like all these guys, yet he's like at the bottom of the rankings? What the hell is going on with my phone?
Oh, okay.
And then I later found out that he was DQ'd. So even though he got second, his name had been like dropped down to the bottom at Hanu 70.3, if no one knows what we're talking about at this point. But yeah, this is crazy to me.
I think many things about this. One, he was very professional about it,
yes,
right? Which was perfect because people expect somebody to be pissed or whatever, and he was like, "No, I messed up. I should have known better," right? And then another one is I'm on the side that he should have been DQ'd because I heard an argument that, well, he's a professional triathlete. It doesn't really matter that much, But then then I thought, well, if you let people of privilege, because a pro is kind of a privileged athlete, get away with breaking some rules, then other people see that and then start doing it too. Mm-hmm. And then the next thing you know, you got people, breaking rules left and right because at this race you can do that because of that.
So my question though is, where was his head at? Because obviously he raced Kona last year in the same kind of sleeved tri-suit. That was the first time he had ever worn it, and obviously he didn't screw up in that race. He rolled it down like all the pros are doing.
Yeah.
I mean, so what happened at Haunt? Did he just totally brain fart and completely forget or something?
I think it's a mix of no. He said that was the only one he had. I think he was trying to get away with it, knowing that it doesn't really matter. Like it wasn't going to make any difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. and people are right. It does not matter, like that shoulder covering. And if it does, it's who knows,
There's no way it's a benefit. I mean, those suits in general, they're more for like sun protection, right? And maybe a little aero advantage on the bike.
Aero advantage on the bike, yeah.
But obviously in swimming, there's not going to be any advantage. But yeah, I just don't know why he would remember to do it in Kona last year in October, but try to get away with it and or forget or whatever it was here in Honu.
So what are you saying? I thought I heard somebody else say this too. They roll them up and then put them.
They roll them down. They unzip it. So think about like if you have like a one-piece tri-suit, you unzip it in the back and then you just like. I actually saw Jesse Thomas this morning at Eagle Man doing that exact thing. He in his Pro Azumi kit, warming up on the swim out there. You just like bibs, you just take the top half off and then stuff that in your speed suit or your swim scanner or whatever. And then when you're coming out of T1 or into T1, you're unzipping your swim skin and then pulling up your tri-kit at the same time and then putting it on.
Oh, okay.
And that's what I'm saying. Like in Kona last year, he did that. So why did he forget to do it in Honu this year? And then also there wasn't that big of a pro field there, but none of his other pros hooked him up and were like, "Hey, Croy, by the way, what you're doing is illegal." Like if it were me, okay, obviously Croy's tough competition, he would have gotten second, but they're all bros to some degree. Like how come a brother didn't hook someone up?
I know, with like, hey, I don't think you can do that.
Yeah, they jacked up.
Or
if someone knew. I mean, maybe they were.
I didn't know about. Okay, so now I understand because I was like, man, because he said that was the only one he had, right? He got to Hawaii and that was the only one he had. And they're custom made or whatever. And I would have been like, well, I just cut the sleeves off, so that I could race and not get disqualified.
No, it's not about that. It's just about the fact that you can just fold it down.
So I didn't even know that. Yeah, that's bizarre, isn't it? That he didn't do that.
I mean, and this is because those suits are becoming. I think they're great suits. I love the way they look on guys. I think they look like they're super advantageous on many levels. Mm-hmm. But I mean, if you're going to have a non-wetsuit swim, and it's an issue. The other thing, I saw this on Slow Twitch yesterday, a conspiracy theory that they did it on purpose. So, because the suit is made by Louis Garneau, and they're like, oh, maybe it's a conspiracy theory that they wanted him to do that because now look how much publicity this new tri is getting for Louis Garneau. But also, that's kind of slow twitchy, putting it really far out there,
I like that. Slow twitchy is an adjective. Okay, so, all right. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't think about that.
It actually made me think about my own situation, and thankfully you'll be posting this after tomorrow, because I actually might still swim at Eagleman tomorrow, depending on how my shoulder feels. But I don't know if I'm supposed to wear, is wearing my wrist brace, would that get me DQ'd because it's considered like a paddle?
I would worry about your hand hitting somebody or something like that. You're so aggressive out there. You start punching people. Where's your wrist brace right now? Why aren't you wearing it?
It's drying. I just worked out. It's actually, my wrist is, I don't think I'm going to swim because my wrist is kind of swollen and jacked up today. I swam this morning out in the Choptank River in the Chesapeake Bay. And it's kind of hurting right now.
So you are like the most difficult person to keep a cast on, it seems like. You're going to be Project Broken Wing # forever.
Hey, at least I'm not racing Eagle Man. At least I came to my senses and decided to do something smart.
Once a year, do something smart. So,
anyways,
how about let's talk about Angela won.
She's so cool. I'm so stoked for her. I think she spent it looked like she was spending time in Kona before the race too to kind of get acclimated and acclimatized.
Yeah. I follow her loosely. So I'm not creepy, but I'm like a super fan. And so
you stalk her ball.
Well, you don't have to anymore because you just subscribe to somebody or follow somebody on Twitter. And
it's crazy how much.
And if they post a bunch, you don't. Yeah. There's no need to stalk anybody anymore. So it's just like, oh yeah, it looks like she's in Hawaii, and I think she was there early, and I talk with her every once in a while, and was giving her swim tips on training.
Oh, cool.
And she thinks that I'm a much better swimmer than I am, so I'm going with it and giving her tips. And then because I used to swim a lot, and so and I know things, And so I'm like, well, have you tried this and have you tried that? Giving her ideas. And she came out of the water with less than a minute than the leaders. And for somebody that didn't come from a swimming background, that's really good.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked.
Yeah.
So if you double that, and that's Hawaii, right? So you double that and then add a little bit. So say 2 minutes and then maybe another minute or two. So 4 minutes behind, 3 minutes behind the leaders. Like if she was doing Kona, then that's not bad, So
she had a great day. I mean, obviously we all know her bike is her extreme strength, but across the board, it looks like she had one of the fastest runs too. So
oh yeah, she's a machine. Yeah. And
I was actually impressed to see Bree Wee run her way up to second place because she just did full Ironman.
She did
whatever.
Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember her running by, and I was like, she's got a physique, like
she's muscular.
Yeah, this chick runs by that's just like super buff, and she doesn't tend to wear much, I think, when she runs.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of buff like hanging out. And bouncing going by, and it's not fat, and it's just like it's awesome when you watch it go by. And I was like, what the hell is that thing, and then she goes by several times probably, and then I later saw pictures in the race recap, and I was like, oh, that's Bree Wee, that's what she looks like. That you just hear the name or read the name in writing and you never forget it,
Yeah.
And then so I was like, oh, that's what Bree Wee looks like.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's pretty spectacular. And then
I like her.
Yeah, it looks like the race went down pretty well all around. So.
Yeah, have you done that race before?
No, I've never been to Hawaii.
All right, I haven't either. I want to do that race. So I know it would be a difficult, like the run just looks brutally tough running on the grass and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, on a golf
definitely
course.
Definitely bucket list race for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, Apple. It's not exactly triathlon news, but I think we ought to do this. A lot of triathletes are into high-tech stuff.
Yeah.
And so Apple had their developer conference the other day, and that's different than a hardware release stuff, right? So what they do is they go, in the new operating system, there's going to be this, for the phone, for the pad, and iPhone, iPad, and the Mac, whatever. And there's all this talk about them coming out with a watch someday, because Samsung has, all these people have the Fitbit and all that stuff, and they revealed this new built-in app, and by built-in I mean it's kind of like the Notepad app or email or like calendar, so it's pretty substantial, like a core thing, and it will accept input from external devices, health devices. So and the reason they announce that kind of stuff at this conference is because they're telling it's a developers conference, hey, there's going to be this new opportunity for you to program things and maybe make money off of it or something like that, right? So some apps. So you could see like Garmin and Suunto and all these other people going, let's write some programs to take all of or make sure that our gadgets and our data can be fed into this thing, right? And then they were showing examples of like when you go in to see your doctor, and the Mayo Clinic was their big example because I think they have some tie-ins with them. You just show them your phone, and your phone's been collecting all this stuff in a standardized way that now your doctor, your physician, or your clinic can actually look at.
That's cool. I mean, it looks like to me then, I had a chance to briefly look over the link that you sent me, but being able to give your doctor a bigger picture of what you are doing, who you are, rather than just like numbers from blood test results. Although I did see you can have your blood test results part of this whole list.
Well, just think about it. We go in to see my best doctor ever was this old guy, and it turned out he was about to retire, and that's why he was so good, because he didn't care about patients anymore, right? like the number of patients. So he would just sit there and just listen to me talk until I was done. And I mean, I've never seen a doctor. Doctors usually you're in and then they got to rush you out because they got to see somebody else, because they've got to pay off all their investment and overhead and all this equipment stuff that they've got in their clinic and whatever. And so this guy would just listen to me, and then he would give me a response, and we'd kind of think about it for a while. And I had some like old injuries and stuff I was trying to work through, and to think that a doctor is really more like a therapist, and an interpreter, trying to read through the bullshit that the patient's trying to screen them with. Well, it doesn't hurt that bad.
Or like, oh, I eat good most of the time.
Yeah, I eat well. I get plenty of sleep, whatever. And it's such crap, and the doctor could work so much better if he or she knew, like, what was really going on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I use that Sleep Cycle app. Have you heard of this one before?
Yeah.
So every night I know literally how many hours I slept, and then, like, the quality of it, somehow you put it face down where you sleep, and it measures, when you're in deep sleep or not deep sleep and all that kind of stuff. And to be able to show that to a doctor, to, again, put it part of the bigger picture is a great idea. I love it. Yeah,
but I just went with my dad to go to see his doctor, and he's got mild Parkinson's, and but he's got all these other crazy symptoms that they're trying to figure it out, what causes what, and they're like, well, we'll give you this medicine. There's all these, like, side effects and crap, it's just bad. And then so he's trying to tell the doctor something, and my mom is sitting there shaking her head, going, "No, that's not what's happening," And then the doctor, I realize, and then the doctor has to deal with me, because I think I know everything about everything. So I'm telling him, well, sleep apnea and all of it, And so I'm like, this guy, I hope that in medical school they get like a year of counseling and therapy to. Like how to do counseling and therapy, because it's getting the data out of the patients,
That's a good point.
And understanding the body language when a patient's lying to you and things like that, and you can, and so you can get rid of a lot of that with a standardized input, like something that they can read, that like you were saying, your blood pressure and your heart rate and all this other stuff over time, and then think about. With something that's standardized that most people have in their pocket, how that'll influence people's knowledge of health,
Mm-hmm.
Well, my iPhone says I'm not getting enough sleep, or my iPhone says, and everybody knows what you're talking about, oh, well, to get more sleep you need to do this, or my heart rate's too high, or like all this stuff, because everybody's talking on the same language now.
Yeah, I'm sure then you could probably tie in like food logs, food diaries.
Yeah, like a standardized one though. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I think a huge thing is looking at macronutrient ratios for people. Like how many carbs are you actually eating?
Yeah.
And you like could see it on like a pie graph or something, like some of these apps do, and then being able to show that to your doctor, your nutritionist, or your coach, even for that matter, like. The idea of that is just, as a coach, like, I think we've talked about this before. It's not just helping people, like, figure out what workout they need to do tomorrow. It's about, like, making them healthier, better, well-rounded people.
Right. Then you can go work out more because you're healthier.
Yeah, exactly. And that sounds like cool stuff to me, because it sounds easy, like, from then the practitioner's point of view to be able to just look at data all in one spot versus having to sign into like multiple accounts and remember passwords and all that kind of junk.
If everybody's coming in with an Android or an iPhone, right? So you got like two, maybe a third standard. That doctor has seen that so many times. He could be like, okay, look, you're trying to do low carb, but you're working out, so many hours a day. That low carb is too low. That's why you feel like crap. Or what? That much fat? Okay, that's a little bit ridiculous, Or but then you can compare it to other people that are around you that are doing the same thing, because everybody's got it. It'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, definitely. So wait, is that actually out yet, or is it just like in beta testing?
It's in beta. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. I'm excited about that for sure. I can't wait till that's out, because that's something I would promote to the athletes that I work with.
Cool.
And it could help with triathletes too, again, like you said, just to make them not so, I'm so smart, I know everything. Or maybe they do, and they find out that they are perfect.
Triathletes are the most healthy and knowledgeable people in the world, is the result that it would find out.
Okay.
All right. So this 9-year-old kid swam across this lake around near my house.
Crazy parents.
Isn't that crazy?
What kind of parents let a kid do that?
So we're talking about my kid.
Oh my God.
Later on in the podcast, I have an interview with him. And I couldn't stop him. He wanted to do it more than anything.
He is such a badass. So he does like bike races, triathlons, swimming.
So that was
God.
on Sunday that he swam. It's a 1.2 mile swim. He did it by himself. I got in the water with him, next to him, and he was so cute. He's like, I would stop him, like, hey, how you feeling? You want to keep going? Because we have a kayak with us too, a friend in a kayak. And Kai just smiles and is like, thumbs up, with he's got these goggles on. He's wearing my swim cap from Ironman Texas and loving it. He's just like, and so it's so cute. And he's just like, yeah, let's keep going. And I go, you're not tired? And he's like, no. And I'd stop him again, and I'm like, you cool? Because that's when we swam across Lake Tahoe and stuff. You stop every once in a while and eat. There's no time. It's just getting across is a big deal.
Yeah.
And he goes, I go, are you scared? We're out in the middle of this lake, and there's boats around us, and there's like marsh over there and rocks over there. It's kind of spooky, and you can't see anything in this lake. And he's like, no. Like, he looks at me like I'm crazy. Like, what do you mean? Why would I be scared? And I'm like, dude, I would be terrified, And then so we got out on the other side, and he wanted to swim back at first. And he had slowed down on the way out towards the end. And I was like, let's sit here and think about it for a while. And then after a while, I go, do you still want to swim back across? And he goes, nah, I'm done. Like that.
That's a good call, Dad. So wait, how much is Kai swimming then? To swim 1.2 miles, how is he practice and train? Like, and not necessarily train, but he's on like a team.
Train.
Yeah. Like, how often is he in the pool having fun swimming?
Yeah. So this is a good guideline. So parents that have kids on swim team would know, like, what your kid could do, if he or she wanted to, is he swims probably 3 times a week with a triathlon team for an hour. That's it.
Okay.
So in this,
that's cool.
1.2 miles in calm open water took just under an hour. So it took 57 minutes. And
that's impressive.
And so if you got a kid that's around 9 years old that's on swim team, and you want them to swim like a mile or something like that, open water, they totally can. Like, it's not a problem whatsoever.
When they're in swim team, like, what's the longest distance that they'll swim in the pool? Like 500s or anything longer than that?
I don't think they're doing 500s. What I did was I got in the water with them, and I stopped them every 5 minutes.
Okay.
And we would just sit there and tread water. And
wetsuit or no wetsuit?
No wetsuit. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And I forced them to stop, and like, we're going to sit here and hang out for a minute. That way I could kind of like check on him and make sure he was fine. Yeah, and he was more than fine. He was totally fine. Like, he thought I was crazy for slowing down and stopping. So,
dude, that kid's going to be on fire.
Yeah.
I love it. It sounds like you guys are doing a really, like, just let him decide if this is stuff he wants to do, but...
Yeah, I don't push it on him at all, because you can get burned out in swimming. He was on swim team a couple years ago, or a year ago, and we took him off after a while. Or we didn't re-sign up the next year. It was too tiring, too much for him. And doing everything else he was doing, soccer and swim team and all this other stuff. So at the same time, and boys Cub Scouts, and we were like, nah, it's too much. So
that's cool. And wait, so he was on the news about this whole thing?
Oh yeah. So I did something that a lot of people I think are don't think to do, or think that the that news companies would be annoyed by or whatever. And I immediately took the pictures by email and a video and emailed them to the local TV station and to the local newspaper. And I think the thing is let the TV station and the newspaper decide if they want to run it or not. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. And they did. They wanted to run it, so they did a little minute-long little video.
That's the kind of news I like watching. I don't even want to watch death.
I know, and it's a nice alternative. They were like so happy that somebody had sent this in. They were like, super. Did you go save a kitten out of a tree after he got out of the He was the Dairy Queen treat of the day.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
That's so Texas,
Brought to you by Dairy Queen.
Brought to you by Dairy Queen.
Which is very ironic, because here's Kai doing something healthy that's probably fighting childhood obesity, brought to you by Dairy Queen.
Oh, but what's really funny is he'll do anything for a milkshake, right?
Oh, okay.
So I told him, he asked me cautiously like a few weeks ago, so if we swim this, will I be able to get a milkshake when I get out? And I go, dude, you do this, I'll let you have a medium milkshake, not a small one, because those are huge, you know.
Well, at least he kind of gets the whole idea of like you got to work if you're going to indulge like that.
Yeah. So in a way, it was totally not fitting. In another way, it was totally cool. Yeah.
All right. Well, good for Kai. Man, let's keep an eye on this kid. Seriously.
He's no speed demon. He's not gifted, like crazy. He's just brave, So
9. I would like the concept of running more than 5 minutes when I was 9 years old would never even cross my mind.
Oh, so to add to this, that the day before I took him to Sam Houston National Park where they do the Rocky Raccoon 100, and I went running for 2 hours, and he rode a mountain bike for 2 hours, real slow, but next to me while I trail ran for 2 hours the day before. He did 2 hours of mountain biking the day before.
That's what I'm saying. Like this kind of base conditioning, man. Like
that it's possible, and you just do it slow and just enjoy it, and have fun. Yeah.
I love it.
It's an alternative to video games,
Absolutely. That's, kind of the family vibe that I grew up in too. Like, our house was always out on the weekends doing fun activities and whatnot. So it's good stuff for sure.
So let's move on to another person that's kind of good, and Macca.
I was impressed. Wow. I know he wins a lot of like the smaller races still, but I haven't seen him win a 70.3 or like something big for.
So which race was it though? Was it Japan something?
Japan 70. It was an Ironman brand one. It was 70.3.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty big race. Macca just straight up won the thing, which is cool because just like you're saying, we haven't really seen him, or it just seems like he's not racing all that much, but. Man.
He does a lot of the small, tiny things. Like, I know he's doing a lot with Challenge because he's, like, working with them now. And then he'll do, like, these random pop-up events in, like, Thailand or wherever he's living these days. But in terms of, like, an actual, like, Ironman brand event, I haven't seen him do anything for a while.
Yeah.
And let alone get a win. Apparently, he won... and the top 3 guys, including him, were all part of what is that place in Thailand where the training like facility?
Oh, yeah.
Thaimpura or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's something Pura, yeah.
They all trained together there, so they like swept the podium.
So it's this training facility that he got hired by as a consultant or as their VP.
Incredibly amazing. Like it was so worth it. Like he actually moved his whole family out there.
Yeah, so he moved. He became like their brand ambassador or their VP of something, and he's in charge of trying to get people out there to live and train and stuff. And it's like, it's just unbelievably cool. Tawnee Prazak?
Tawnee Prazak, is that how you pronounce it? Probably Tawnee Prazak.
Yeah, and he's the executive chairman of the island's facility. And I
want to go there.
It's in Phuket.
Yeah, it looks pretty amazing.
Yeah. And he's also, big with the challenge races, so it was kind of cool to see him do an Ironman one and win.
Yeah, I think he's 40. He's right around the same age as like these guys, early 40s. So
yeah, he's 41 or 42.
I'm still under the impression that 40 is the new 30 when it comes to a lot of these guys in triathlon.
Yeah, I think because I'm 41 or almost 41, and I'm 40, and I feel like I'm just as fit and as strong as at any point in my life, but
really?
the urge to go train for Ironman like at that level is just kind of fading a little bit. Like to be like super competitive at uber long distance, you're like, man, I kind of want to enjoy like some other stuff,
Yeah.
So and at that level, these pros, you can't afford to be 1%, 2%, 3% off. You got to be all in, and he's got kids and stuff like that. So
3.
Yeah.
Little ones. Actually, that reminded me. So it was a year ago, or just about a year ago, he was actually out in Southern California. And this was really cool. I've been able to race with him several times now because Macca is one of those guys that loves to come out to the local events. And Last year we both did a double. It was a sprint triathlon on Saturday, which we both won overall, which was really fun being able to share the podium with Macca.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's a small race. It's the only race I've ever won overall. And actually, it just happened again today. It's in Huntington Beach, California. So, and then the following morning, there was another race that was like several hours away from the coast, or maybe not that long, like a couple hours more inland, that we both showed up to. I didn't win that one too. Of course he did, but unfortunately I was like second or third overall.
Oh, golly. How can you live with yourself?
I know. I was like, I went home and cried for the rest of the evening. It was really depressing. Just kidding. But no, that's, one of the things I've always liked about Macca is that he... say what you will about him, but he loves the sport, and it's really clear. Especially, I've been able to kind of silently watch him interact with people at these small, like, mom and pop races, and you can just tell he really loves it. Like, he's like, "Sure, mate. Like, I'll sign your leg, whatever."
Yeah, sure, whatever.
So yeah,
I love him. He's so cool.
I definitely have a good fun times for sure. So
okay,
but yeah, I'm stoked to see him win 70.3. Do you know what he's like? Is he making, like, is he trying to go for Kona at any point or anything like that? Or is he just sort of like going with the flow?
I don't think so. When is Roth? What if he's going to race Roth?
July, usually, I think.
Yeah, maybe he'll race Roth.
He probably will.
For people that don't know, it's Challenge's premier iron distance in Germany, and it's incredible. So it's their Kona.
I would go out there to drink the beer. I've seen pictures of like the spectators at that race too, though. I mean, it's known as the fastest course in the world,
right?
And then also one of the best spectator scenes that you've ever seen.
Totally.
So
yeah, it looks like the Tour de France with crowds like 5, 6 deep, 10 deep, on either side, as people are trying to ride and run through it. Yeah, looks awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so I have an idea about undercover drafting marshals. And this goes back to a news story where at Brazil, somebody has a blog where they post drafting cheaters.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that's where this all came from. So he posted a bunch of... This is just what he does, And I'm sure there's good and bad of it. A lot of stuff is shown, but then some people get shown as drafters when they're not really, and it causes controversy. Because everything perspective from the camera, and like... It's hard to tell sometimes. But this one, what was her name? You said Sarah
Gross. She won overall.
Yeah.
Her first time winning an Ironman.
Her first Ironman ever to win. She gets special coverage in this blog of tons and tons of photos of her drafting, quote unquote.
There's video too, right?
Video behind these huge packs of guys. And but if you know anything about the sport, this is more of a problem that pro women talk about, that they get stuck in with really fast age group guys on the bike.
Extremely valid point too.
Yeah. And then if you look at the video, it's really congested, and to get around the draft pack is so fast that to get around the draft pack is almost impossible because they're going so fast. Once you get out in front of them, they're going to swallow you back up again. So you're stuck in this position, and what do you do? And in the Ironman Texas episode I did, that made me think, that girl that I was bitching about that was drafting off these guys, well, I saw that twice. That was not somebody that couldn't get around somebody and that couldn't do whatever, Like, that was freaking drafting, straight up, It was a group that they were all, not just her, they were all jerks for doing what they were doing. But it is, like, you got to be careful when you call people out for this kind of stuff. And you got to know that this one weird thing that happens in our sport with the pro women getting stuck behind fast guys. And then, so anyway, people were on Slow Twitch were trying to come up with theories of what to do. And it was really a really good thread because it was really powerfully directed at Dan Empfield and Slow Twitch in general. Like, do something about this. We are not going to sit here and take this anymore. You've got the power in the industry, Dan, who's the owner of the Slow Twitch forums, and start talking to people and do something about this. We are pissed off. And so there's a bunch of ideas going around, like what are things that can be done. A lot of them are like real high tech, drones and RFID and things like that, to make sure people are spread out. And then there was this one idea that I came up with, which was undercover draft marshals. And if somebody, whenever I don't draft, but I know that when I get stuck behind somebody and I'm like, crap, I might get called for drafting because I'm behind this person and I want to get around them, and it's hard.
Right.
What is the first thing I do? I look for a motorcycle, right? I look for drafting marshals, right? So that I don't get in trouble, you know?
That whole
right?
Yeah, I understand.
And then I'm like, is there a drafting marshal around? Crap, I got to get around this guy, but I'm worried it's going to take me a long time. You know, how fast do I need to get around this guy? Because is there a drafting marshal like right here? So you look for drafting marshals, and then so drafting marshals are a deterrent. And then the other thing is, who are the people that see drafting going on all the time, right? They get pissed off by it. So who's allowed to see drafting happen blatantly? And it's other riders, right? So if you hide draft marshals as other riders, then the people that are drafting can no longer say, well, because there's no draft marshal around, I know I can draft, right?
Yeah.
And then the hidden draft marshals would be embedded, and so they would actually see it happening and be able to call people out because they look just like anybody else. And Ironman, for example, and these other companies have no trouble getting volunteers for races.
Actually, I will. Last night, I've been hearing here at Eagle Man, they're like extremely desperate for for whatever reason.
For volunteers?
So, yeah, which is completely unheard of, especially for a race that has this much history. But I don't need to get into that. I totally agree. Usually, volunteers are, in a plethora.
Yeah, I've done a race where half the volunteers never showed up, and then it ended up screwing up the race royally. So.
Yeah. That's an interesting concept. The undercover. So would they be on motorcycles still though? The undercover.
No, they're on bicycles. They're
marshals?
riding. They're riding. They look just like another triathlete riding.
Okay. Oh, so you basically have people go out to ride, but wouldn't that just create more traffic if you already have a couple thousand people on a course?
You only need 10.
Yeah. And then you have to trust that there's not going to be a human bias unless there's videos or something attached.
Right.
I mean, that's why the whole idea of the drone, while expensive and definitely has potential flaws, did you hear about that drone that fell on the track?
Hit that person.
What the hell? It was some random race, and she was the lead woman, and it seriously injured her.
Yeah. Yeah, there's drones. There's RFID where you can tell how far apart people are somehow. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello? Did I lose you?
Oh, yeah, we're good.
Okay, we're good. All right.
I think we're good. Okay. So, yeah, getting back to Sarah, though, did you read her blog by any chance?
No, I read an interview with her on Slow Twitch. I
didn't read that. I read her blog, and the only reason I read it is because the real Starkey, commented on Twitter. It was he's oh, basically she's admitting to drafting here, some BS, just trying to create real Starkey commotion. And I saw a couple people follow up and be like, real Starkey, you're unfollowed after accusing her of drafting. Yeah. But basically she kind of touched on it and was just saying dude, you just get stuck behind these massive packs of age group guys, and it's what the hell are you supposed to do? You can only make so many surges before you just have to sit up out of your bars and be all right, well, I can't sit on the back of the pack, but I can't go any faster, so here I am now 15 miles an hour or whatever it is.
Yeah. Well, but you're doing 25 but without having to try. But you can't get around that because it's 25.
You're still getting the benefit of the draft.
It's 25 without trying, but you can't get around them because you need to go 25 as soon as they swallow you up again. And then that's the other thing. They see a girl pass them. Guys get motivated all the time. I let some girl pass me, and then they catch up with her again.
Oh, God.
And then
Can I tell you how many times I've seen that happen in training? People I don't even know. I'll just be climbing a hill, and I'll pass a guy who's going kind of slow. All of a sudden, as I pass him, not even necessarily trying to, just riding my own ride, and thinking, hey, whoa, what a surprise! There you are, right on my butt, passing me back.
Yeah, it's not always a girl thing. Like, because I'll pass somebody, and the next thing I know, they're going harder to try to keep up with me, and then, but I've done it, a girl will pass me, and I'm just so inspired. I'm like, holy shit, that chick's badass, I gotta try to ride with her for a little bit, and then I give up, One time, I caught up to a pro female a long, long time ago in a race, and Andrea Fisher. I go, hey, Andrea, because I had interviewed her or something like that. It's Brett. And she goes, oh, hi, how you doing? And we're climbing up a hill. And I go, okay, well, I'm done now, like that, and then fell off because I could not keep up with her at all. I just wanted to say hi, like that. So I know my limits,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a sticky situation, though. It's like, I think the easy solution is just going to be separating the pro starts more adequately from the age groupers. I mean, what's the problem with doing that? That's an easy solution.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
I know that was the issue in Kona, and the women not feeling like they were getting a fair race.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
Wow.
But
I did not know that you won a race overall. I'm still thinking about that. That's pretty bad.
Oh, well, it's just like a small race.
Yeah,
so.
Still though, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, my one victory. It was fun. It definitely was it's a good feeling, no matter how, no matter what the field is like there. It was a sand run too, on deep sand in the beach.
Yeah.
So that was tough little morning.
Well, that's because you're a grommet kid, you grew up hanging on to somebody's swimsuit all the time, so you know how to do sand.
Yep, that is true.
All right, so do you have any insider info on Eagle Man?
Well, even though this is by the time you post this podcast, Eagle Man will be old news, I'm guessing, because we're the day before the race now. So anything I can say at this point is going to be old news. But let's see. Maybe I'll make some race predictions and see if they come
Oh, yeah.
through.
You should tell me, like what's going on. We'll post it, and it'll be funny listening after the race what actually happened. Okay, so how's the weather going to be, do you think? It's going to be fantastic? No problems?
Well, I've talked to the locals, and they're all thinking that it's going to stay pretty mellow.
Okay, cool.
And I definitely am going to take the optimistic route and be right there with them. I've been here since Thursday now, and every day has been super mellow. It's going to be humid, it's going to be a little windy, but nothing extreme like 30-mile-an-hour winds, crazy like that.
Yeah.
I think there is a 30% chance of rain as of now, so to me that means 0% chance of rain. But then again, I'm a West Coast girl, not an East Coast girl, so
yeah, and rain could either mean pleasant rain or it could mean violent thunderstorms. You never know. Yeah.
So. Then with the pros, I think the men's field looks like it's more stacked than the women's. It's like Jesse Thomas, Bevan Doherty, T.O., Tim O'Donnell, Tim Don, and maybe a few more. And those are all guys who are gonna give us a good show. Give me a good show. Since I think I don't really know who I have my money on. I think Bevan's going to be one to fight, but I think Jesse Thomas. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think T.O. can maybe outrun Jesse Thomas. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
And then the women, Caitlin Snow and Heather Wortell and Kim Schwabenbauer, and that's all I really know off the top of my head. There might be more, but I haven't looked at the pro list, only what I've been hearing around.
Okay.
But Caitlin Snow and Heather Wortell, that will make for a really good run race.
Yeah.
I think Heather might outbite Caitlin just a tad, but if Caitlin can catch up to her on the run, they'll run stride by stride for sure, and I will be loving watching that because I'm actually going to go run out on the course tomorrow and do as much observing and cheering and all that as possible.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I got to bail. I got a phone call with somebody here in a little bit.
Me too. I have an athlete doing a half Ironman tomorrow on the West Coast, so I got to talk to him about it. It's supposed to be over 100 degrees where he's racing. I'm like, oh,
shit. Golly. Are you serious?
Yeah. He sent me the weather report last night, and I was like,
And you said it's a half Ironman?
Yeah, it's some random one up in Northern California. I don't even know the name of it.
Man, I did that thing where I ran an Ironman Texas with a water bottle in my hand and just dribbled water over my head between aid stations. I'd go through an aid station and I'd unscrew the lid and pour ice water in it. and then it's a mile and a half or less, to the next aid station. And just the same bottle I was drinking out of for water, I would also, just dribble it on my head as I was running, and it made all the difference in the world. It's fantastic.
Did it?
Yeah.
I had a friend in grad school who did her thesis on that. She had people running 5Ks on a treadmill and with water, like pouring water over their head to see if that because actually it doesn't necessarily show that will increase performance when you do that, but it may make you feel better.
Oh, it made me feel way better. Yeah.
So
you feel less desperate between aid stations. Yeah.
So she did. I don't remember what the conclusion of her thesis was, but I'm pretty sure it's like there's really nothing that shows that it significantly improves performance, but it'll at least, like I said, make you feel better. And then if you feel better, then for many people that could improve performance.
You see that's what they do at Badwater. They have guys running next to them, like spraying them with those pressurized those things. Just you can have somebody running next to you, spraying you with water to try to keep your temperature down. Yeah.
I want to crew for Badwater one day, or an ultra for someone. So if anyone wants someone to crew for them, I'm down to help you out.
Oh wow, yeah. Yeah, you have to crew for it to see what it's like.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah, that'd be interesting. All right. Well, thanks again, as always, for letting me chat with you for an hour or so. And
and you deserve a medal for listening to that whole Ironman Texas podcast.
Within 48 hours.
Yeah. I was like, wow, iron ears.
I just had it kind of on in the background when I could afford to because that's the great thing about your podcast. Let me just say real quickly. Is that I love learning from podcasts and the Ben Greenfields and the Dave Aspreys of the world, but there's also a time where I just don't want any more information. Learn. Yeah, I just want to hear people. No offense, I didn't mean it like that, but I just want to sit down and hear someone living life,
Yeah.
And just kind of going through and that's what I love about your podcast. It's I love just having it kind of on, and I'm sure that's why you've been so successful over the years, because people feel like you're part of their family and stuff.
Yeah, I get a lot of emails like that. I recorded today while I was pumping gas into my car, so, for example, and while I was leaving the hardware store. So, but triathletes have to pump gas, and they have to, they have.
Wait, you don't have someone do that for you?
Oh, with all my winnings. Yeah.
We just got to write that book together.
Yep, that's right. It's coming. Y'all watch out.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
I'll talk to you later. All right, bye.
All right. That was great. Thank you so much, Tawnee. I'm looking at my notes here. We need to mention some sponsors. Let's talk about Compete Hub. It's kind of like the Facebook of triathlon, where you can find races and sign up for stuff and find other people involved in races. I've actually recorded an interview with one of the founders of Compete Hub, and it's a really, really good interview, and that'll probably be in the next episode. And it's definitely cool stuff. Go check it out, CompeteHub.com. Get in there, start looking for races, start looking for people. It's really popular. I'm in there. I like it. I like it a lot. And the interview with these guys is really, really good. So look forward to the next show to find out more about how you use it, how they built it, and their plans for it. It's really neat. So go check it out at CompeteHub.com. They help bring us the news. All right. Now let's do our interview with Brandon Marsh. Like I said, I love this interview, because we talk about redneck stuff and about being in Texas, and it's just all around a good time. And the swim training is both simple, but what it really reveals when you peel back the layers of that onion is that it's hard work, man. Hard work swimming, and there's no way around it. But there might be some tidbits in here. I'm sure there's some tidbits in here that you could really, really use. So let's go ahead and get started with Brandon.
Who's that now?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine, man.
All right.
Cool, dude. Well, I just went ahead and hit record just to warn you. So.
Okay.
Is that all right?
So don't drop any F-bombs or crazy stuff.
No, actually, you can, and I encourage it, because then I just bleep them out, and then people wonder what in the world you said.
Right.
So that's cool, man. So I don't want to take up too much of your time because I know you're out doing stuff and out and about. And I do have just some really quick questions for you about the swim and everything that happened at Ironman Texas.
Yeah, no problem. I've got time. I'm
cool.
on my way actually to Arizona for a training camp with Paulo's squad. Amy's in Chapel Hill doing Raleigh tomorrow, and
cool.
So I've just been helping my dad with some rednecking stuff at their house in Glen Rose. So
what does rednecking stuff mean? What were you doing?
Pushing brush around, looking at deer stands, things like that, driving around a tractor or a gator.
Yeah,
things that triathletes aren't usually thought of as doing.
Yeah, I coach a guy who owns a ranch, and he'll say, I can't train this day because I'm going to go out and work the fences and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, that's good, man.
Yeah, no, not quite like that. Just little projects here and there. If I can help him do something, I will. So. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, my great aunt and uncle had a 500-acre ranch out in Gonzales, and I would go out and spend not tons of time, but just some time out there helping them do stuff. And, as a kid, well, they probably were just giving me stuff to do to keep me busy, but.
Right. This is, kind of small acreage as well, but it's fun. So yeah, man, go ahead. I'm here.
All right, dude. All right, here we go. So first off, you swam a 46. Is that right? I mean, they printed that right? You swam a 46 at Ironman Texas?
That's probably pretty close. I think that's probably pretty close to accurate. And man, I only say that because I think it was 46 and some change, 46.30 or something maybe. I honestly don't know all of my splits down to the second. I just generally know about what they were. But the wetsuit helps a lot.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, what kind of wetsuit were you wearing?
We've been wearing Roka's new wetsuits This is the second year we've been in their suits. I wore they're a new company last year. They have their Maverick Pro and their Maverick Elite wetsuit.
Right.
And I was in the Elite last year, but I'm in the Pro this year. Okay. And but I mean, regardless of what wetsuit you're in, like it makes a difference.
Sure.
It's 2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
For us, it's probably 2 to 3 minutes, maybe 4 faster over an Ironman.
Was it a full sleeved? Is that what the Pro is?
Yeah, I mean, I wear pretty much if it's wetsuit legal, I will generally opt to wear. Well, right now all I have are full sleeves.
Right.
So I will generally opt to wear a full sleeve just because when I look around on the starting line, most of the other guys are also wearing full sleeves, so I don't want to give up that advantage.
Yeah. Did you get hot at all during the swim?
It wasn't too bad. I mean,
well, you're only in there for a few minutes anyway, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. Like I've swum in 72-degree pools before, and I get cold. But then, the water at Ironman Texas was 72 or so thereabouts.
Yeah,
and,
about that.
I think my legs definitely got a little bit warm. Mid to late through the swim. It really seemed like when we got into that canal that the temperature went up a degree or two.
Yeah.
And I definitely think that 76 or 76.1, whatever the limit is, I think for pros especially, I think we could drop it down a little bit. But so I got a little bit warm. Okay.
And then were you... I made out a list of questions before I called you, so I wouldn't forget anything. So some of these kind of come out of left field.
Yeah, no problem.
But you swam this thing in 46, and you beat the next guy out by over a minute, I think. This really nice pro field that was out there, really super quality pros, and your mind like going going into this swim, were you from the beginning? Did you know that you would probably beat everybody in the swim, or it just kind of happened that way?
Actually, it really just kind of happened that way. I mean, Stephen Bayless always swims very well.
Yeah.
Balaj swims well. Bevan is very, very good athlete. I mean, Bevan went on to win.
Yeah. He's kind of good.
But I was actually, I was really surprised. I started out fast. I mean, we all kind of start out fast, and then kind of immediately I was in the lead, and then I felt a little tap here and there on my feet, but I had figured on there being about 5 or 6 of us, 4 to 6 of us come out of the swim together. And when we made the turn at the far end of the course, you kind of make 2 left-hand turns, make a U-turn basically.
Right, yeah.
I had kind of checked at the second buoy, and before we came back, and it looked like I had a little bit of a gap, which was actually pretty surprising to me. So,
yeah.
I didn't really speed up, or I just tried to maintain my pace on the way back. But to come out of the water with 1:15, 1.5 minutes was actually quite surprising.
Did it ever cross your mind to I don't know if it would have crossed my mind to pause and let people catch up so you could draft off of some other people, or you were just like, well, you were swimming your own pace and it wasn't that bad, so just keep going?
Well, in the swim, I usually just try to swim my own pace.
Yeah.
In Kona, I let out of Kona, which was really cool, and I didn't really plan that either. But when I took the lead, I was kind of like, okay, we'll just, keep the pressure on and swim your own pace. And if you're going too slow, then someone will, they'll come around.
They'll pass you, yeah, and you just hook on to that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Draft if you need to, but if you're not, just swim your own pace. Well, maybe you have, or obviously you have like a really, like a special, like maybe knack or gift or whatever for open water, because you did this at Kona too, like you said. Like, how often do you sight? Do you do like so many strokes and then sight, or you just kind of look up whenever you feel like it, or how much open water swimming do you do to practice this?
Well, that's kind of the funny part. I mean, my swimming has gotten better over the last 5 years or so.
Uh-huh.
And I think some of that is just sticking to a program and actually swimming more than I used to swim in training. But if we're with Paulo's group of athletes, or we might swim some open water, but I don't really swim open water in Austin.
Right.
Like, very seldom, and so, I think it's just been, and as far as sighting, so I don't really swim open water that much. I feel like the majority of your fitness, whether pro or age grouper, comes from pool swimming, and then there's the comfort level of open water swimming, but for sighting, I sight really frequently. I'll sight every, just call it 4 to 6 strokes.
Yeah.
Unless it's pretty straightforward. At Ironman Texas, especially when you get down into the canal, it's really narrow and you can see the side and it's pretty straight.
Yeah.
So
you don't need the sight
as long as you're not getting too far away from one side, then you're doing okay.
Right.
But I sight quite often.
Well, when you're not sighting, do you purposefully like keep your head down, like like some swimming methods say, keep your head down as low as possible so you kind of torpedo through the water a little bit, or do you just kind of swim natural form how you feel like doing?
Well, I mean, I try to just swim pretty natural, which for me is kind of having a neutral head position, like you walk, you don't walk looking at your feet or looking at the sky. You just, and I think when people keep their head down, what they end up doing is it'd be almost like walking, looking at your feet. And so, the top of my head, if I'm not breathing, the top of my head's, you can see it on the surface of the water, but just try to keep a pretty natural position and pay attention to what I do in the pool a lot and try to mimic that in open water, minus the lane robes and lines to follow.
So, in the race, I was reading one of the great write-ups is on Slow Twitch, and of the race, and I forgot who wrote it, but there was a really funny. Well, I don't know. As a Texan myself, it's funny to read. Where it said Brandon Marsh led out of the water in a speedy. Yeah, here it is, 46:38. Stephen Bayless, who certainly isn't a slouch when it comes to swimming, was next, and then Doherty and Dieterin, I think is how you say his name. Tim Reed and Balaz.
Yeah.
How do you say? Do you know how to say Balaz Kazok's name? Like I can't say it.
I don't. I think it's Balaj Zoke, like Zoke, and
okay, that makes sense.
And having had a number of conversations with him, if he listens to this podcast, he's gonna throw something at the wall because I totally butchered his name. But,
yeah, that's a hard name to say here for us. And
it's a tough. Texans aren't used to pronouncing, I think, Hungarian names.
No.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think he's Hungarian. Yeah. Yeah, you have to cut us a little bit of slack. We're trying to catch up. But over there, that's probably like John Smith, or
exactly
Steve.
Yeah.
Williams.
But you're going about the slow twitch write-up.
Yeah, and it says Brandon Marsh continued to lead the bike until mile 64, and then Jordan Rapp passed you, and then Doherty and Reed and Dearden after a while. And then, but I like the end of the sentence. It says, and set the pace of that small group to reel in the lone leading Texan.
Well, I mean, I was getting a few updates from a couple of people who were, and they weren't really like exact updates, but I'd kind of heard, oh, you're a minute and a half up, and I was like, oh, okay, that's good. And then, like 30 miles later, I heard, well, Rapp is pulling a group and they're 3 minutes behind you. And I kind of thought to myself, I was like, well, that's really weird because I'd kind of expected, I was riding controlled and within myself and everything. And I'd kind of expected the group of Bevan and Boss and Timbo Reed to kind of reel me in. And, it really sounded like Jordan was doing the lion's share of the work, and I saw him at mile 60 when we went through special needs, and Jordan passed me about 64, 65 miles into the ride, and I had eased up, and I was like, okay, Jordan's going to come by, and then the other guys are going to come by, and Jordan went by me, Everyone else just kind of stacked up behind me, and it was really surprising, but yeah, Jordan kind of single-handedly reeled me in and brought some folks with him.
Yeah, so like 64 miles on the bike, that's probably, I guess for you, like 2-something hours, right? Out there on the bike. So what is it?
Yeah.
What does it feel like? Like you come out of the water first, you're like, I remember one time I was leading a race. It was just a small thing, and I was just like, holy crap, I'm winning. Keep going, Or do you have to, like, you said you rode within your own limit, but like 64 miles into an Ironman, you're winning the whole thing against guys like that, Are you freaking out, or are you just, this kind of thing happens and you just play chess with them for a while and kind of see, because there's a marathon after all this,
Well, yeah, it's a great story. Hey, I led the race for, like 4 hours, and then I got AIDS. But no, the swim was kind of, I don't want to say expected. That wasn't too surprising. To be out front for 65 miles on the bike, that was actually surprising.
Yeah.
And again, there were no real surprises on the bike for me. That's kind of what I had trained to do. And, again, you kind of swim by, I tend to swim by just effort.
Right.
And, you can bike by effort or power or heart rate, whatever you use. And for me, it was power and effort, and that was all good.
Yeah.
And then, the chess match really starts whenever there are other people.
Yeah, when there's like more in the mix that you're kind of working off of, kind of playing the game off of.
Yeah, exactly. It's really kind of nice to come out of the water, be in front, and then just kind of do your own thing. Mm-hmm. Which is probably what Jordan did too. For good or bad, once Jordan got out of the water, whether he was where he wanted to be or not, he swung his leg over his bike and was doing his own thing. And by doing his own thing, he, brought a few guys with him and rode. I think he rode like freaking 420 or something.
Yeah, I know.
So,
he's a machine. So you didn't fade on the bike. You were just riding. When all those guys passed you, you were just riding your own power, and they just caught up, right? And then they most of them hung with you, and then Jordan went off the front.
Yeah, there was a little Mickey Mouse in there where we, you kind of know it's going to happen, I kind of expect it to happen. There's going to be some Mickey Mouse and gameplay, and who's going to work, who's not going to work. Do we let Jordan go up the road and mamby-pamby around so much that Jordan puts 10 minutes on us, and Justin and Chris and whoever's behind us actually end up catching us, So eventually you kind of have to, you play the game a little, or, if it's not too hard, or you're not burning too many matches, then, maybe you're the aggressor a little bit.
Do you
minimize the damage or whatever? So.
When you pass somebody, do you feel like both of y'all are doing this, like scoping each other kind of up and down to try to read signs of how fatigued the other person is, if they're having a good time or a good day or not, and like try to read into their body language at all?
Oh, I think some of that goes on. I mean, obviously it's easier to do that, and people are really good actors too. Like if you kind of let people go, and then you're sitting at the back of the bunch, if someone's like, whatever, stretching on the bike, you're kind of like, A, the pace is that slow that they can do that, or B, well, maybe they're on the ropes a little bit,
Yeah.
It's hard to say at that race, like Tim Reed was a relative unknown. I didn't run what I had trained to run. Boss has had some good races this year, mostly doing kind of what he did, which I think was sitting in on the bike. Bevan has had a couple of DNFs, and I kind of thought Bevan had, he admitted it in his award speech. He had some demons to get rid of, and I think he kind of had one hand to play, and he played it really well, and it worked, and he put in a great performance. And that hand was be conservative on the, kind of be a little bit conservative on the swim, be a little bit conservative on the bike, because that's where he had issues in the past, and then. I mean, he's Bevan.
Hammer,
like
right.
Bevan, So
yeah,
and it worked.
So for your energy, like for that swim and that bike ride, what do you? It's a question we get a lot. What do you like to have for breakfast before an Ironman race?
We'll eat. We'll eat a couple. I'll have a couple pieces of toast with some jelly or almond butter.
Uh-huh.
I'll have a serving of First Endurance Ultragen.
Yeah.
It's 320 calories, and it's, easily assimilated.
Right.
Of carbs and some protein, which gives some fullness. So, all total, I might even have a banana or a bonk breaker. It just kind of, it doesn't change too much, but all total, I'll generally try to get about 1,000 calories in by about 4:30 at the latest. So.
And then, so you start digesting it before you hit the water.
I think that's important, but it may not be quite as important as for a shorter race, just because for a shorter race, a longer race you need the calories, and for a shorter race you're going harder.
Yeah.
So, what you eat may be a little bit more touch and go.
So on your for your swim training, what did you do to improve so much over the past few years, and like how often do you swim, and like what do you do in a swim practice, and what do you focus on?
Well, I kind of this is kind of working on at the end of this year, it'll be 3 years where Paulos Seuss has been coaching. He would probably say it's so, but, Paulo's been coaching us. And so I really just turn that over to him. I wake up every day or every Sunday, I get my schedule for the week. And some of it depends on the time of the year, but if I could sum it up, we probably average, or I probably average, and when I say we, I mean Amy, because we may be doing different races. We generally swim together, so a lot of our swim workouts are the same, but race lead-ins may be different. So generally, we'll swim most weeks 5 times a week, sometimes occasionally 4, other times 6, but I would say about 5 days a week, and it'll be anywhere from 18 to 25K a week that we swim. And for us, it's mostly on our own. Off season or before we start a build, we might hit a master's practice a couple days a week or once or twice a week for the social component.
Yeah.
But mostly it's on our own, and so 5. Just say averaging 5 days a week and averaging 20,000 plus or minus yards a week. And but the swims are. I would say that some of it's more technical swimming, not necessarily drills, but like, some paddles work, some paddles and buoy, band work, band only work, sometimes band with a buoy.
Yeah.
But technical type swims where, and for me, I really try to focus on what I'm doing. Like I think, what are my hands doing? Where are my hands?
Yeah.
Do I have a pause in my stroke somewhere that I can shorten or eliminate?
Right. I do that too.
Yeah. Because I feel like I'm just a complete swim dork. I was telling Jordan that, like I'll take a stroke and
that's what got you. That self-criticism is what got you to 46 because you're constantly analyzing your swim.
Yeah, I think so. And I think a lot of people lose, like they just see, oh, well, I have a 3K swim and it's 100s today, and they go bang it out, or they make sure they hit their lap time every time they finish their 100 instead of actually trying to pay attention to what they're doing when they swim.
You grew up on swim teams or something? Were you on swimming in high school? I think I read somewhere.
Yeah, I did. It was funny. Jordan and I were talking about this after the race, and one other guy, and I said, I was a nerd growing up, like salutatorian in my class. I went to high school to go to college to get a job, and I swam all throughout high school, but I was a year-round swimmer, but I was a once-a-day swimmer. Mm-hmm. I went 456 in the 500 yard free, 203 flat in the 200 IM.
Yeah.
And those are my main, those aren't even impressive, but those are my PRs,
Yeah.
And I think if I stopped running and biking, threw some weight around in the gym, I could probably hit my PRs, 20 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, cool. That's what I had on my list of questions I wanted to ask you. That's insightful stuff, man. I think a lot of people wish they could do that, but then it's 5 days a week.
It is,
4,000 meters or yards a pop. There's no shortcut, right? There's
no real shortcut, and I think obviously there are athletes who you can watch kids who swim. There are kids who just have it, and then there are kids who may never have it.
Yeah.
But regardless of where you are on that spectrum, I actually really think that, if you don't just have it, then you need to pay attention to what you're doing, know what you're doing. Just try to develop some kind of bodily awareness, where you know where your hands are and what your feet are doing and what your hips and legs are doing. And it sounds kind of, whatever, touchy-feely, but there's a little bit of truth to that, I think.
Right. So. Yeah, I know. Like a really good thing is to take a video of yourself, have somebody take a video of you and show you how you're swimming. You'll see a whole bunch of stuff. Send it off to somebody. Post it on Slow Twitch.
Oh, well, yeah. But see, then if you do that, you'll get a bunch of people who think they know what they're doing, telling you what to do. But
exactly.
No, the video is very true. It's like, oh wow, I look like that.
Yeah.
I thought I looked like Michael Phelps, but really I look like a controlled drown.
A jellyfish or something. Yeah. Jellyfish with a seizure. Yeah. Well, cool, man. What do you
cool.
What races you got coming up next? You and Amy both.
Well, Amy's probably after this gets posted. Amy's doing 70.3 Raleigh. She's going to Frankfurt July 6th to race out there in Germany. I'm gonna do keeping it kind of local this year for a little bit. I'm going to do 70.3 Lubbock at the end of June.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then I'll sort out one or two other halves, and then I'll probably do a mid to late season full. I might do Wisconsin or Lake Placid. Lake Placid's not really that late, but one of those two. And then hopefully Amy qualifies for Kona. I'm not trying to go this year. If she goes, I'll go there. And if she does the late season race, we might close out our 2014 seasons at like Cozumel or something. We haven't really decided.
Yeah, that's cool.
So.
Yeah, I talked to pros that are partners in it, and it's funny, you know, they try to get into races together, you know, to save money on the travel and everything. So it's kind of
it is. It's fun, and then, you know, one of the parts that, I mean, you're fortunate because, you know, you get to train and race with your partner and do something you both really love, but then at the same time, if you're training while they're building, or you're resting while they're building, it can kind of suck. But, you know, and then if you're both building for the same Ironman, then it's like, you know. Oh, yeah,
you get in sync. It's pretty cool.
It can be a grumpy household, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because you get tired at the same time.
Yeah, both. Yeah, both at the same time, exhausted.
Yeah, so we'll see. What's next for you?
Let's see. I might do Pflugerville. There's like a sprint try in Pflugerville.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And we do the Iron Baby in the fall, which is a self-supported Ironman here in College Station that I put on.
Okay.
And you're invited anytime you want. You feel like doing an Ironman. You know, just for
I don't know.
You know, just for charity, just do an Ironman. Yeah. And then
I think the $800 ones are good.
Yeah.
You know.
And I think I don't have anything else. Oh, I might do Austin 70.3. I've never done it before, oddly enough, so I might do that. My wife did it last year, and the course is just kind of blah, you know, but it's close.
Yeah.
You know? So I thought, well, maybe, you know, be something cool to go do.
Well, cool. If you do that one, chances are pretty good that I'll see you out there sometime.
Yeah.
So.
Well, good luck at Lubbock. I've done that. That one's hard, man.
Yeah, it's tough. We can throw anything your way, but yeah, let me know, man. If we need to cover anything else or something comes up, just give me a shout. I appreciate it.
Yeah, cool. And how do people get in touch with you?
You know, they can, if they hit our website, they can go to it's team TEAM-MARSH.com, and we're both on Twitter, and but yeah, if they hit teammarsh.com, we try to keep things updated there. Right. We got a contact form or an email link. So
so do you do full blown coaching services?
Right now, it's mostly just one-on-one stuff. We've got a couple programs where, you know, people want an Ironman program, then you know, we can probably knock that out for them. Or you know, you mentioned you're doing like Pflugerville, which is in a week or two.
Yeah.
We've got a series that set of workouts that we're trying to gear around the Texas Tri Series, which is, you know, those Central Texas based races. So like Pflugerville, and it follows up, I think, with Couples and Jack's Generic, and then Austin, and then the Kerrville race in the September, I think it is, or not the October.
Okay.
But yeah, so a little bit of full service stuff, no on deck stuff at this point, but we'll see if we can grow that in the future.
Okay, cool, man. Well, thanks for the call, dude.
You bet. Thanks for it as well, and we'll just see you when we see you.
All right. Have a safe trip. Bye.
All right. Thanks for that. Bye.
All right. Thanks so much, Brandon. And I think we might get in touch with him some more in the future over more shows about more swims that he's doing, and you know, more tips and advice. You know, does he do the ankle band thing? Does he use hand paddles? You know, what are his swim workouts exactly like? You know, what kind of gear does he use? What does he focus on? And we kind of glossed over that. There was so much other stuff in there that I think there's more we could get out of him. And he sounded like he'd be really happy to talk with us. And so let's go ahead and get started with, let's see, are we going to do questions? I want to mention that thing about Kai that Tawnee and I talked about. Let's mention Sufferfest. Sufferfest is hugely popular. It's indoor training videos. And I've been emailing back and forth with the founder, the owner of Sufferfest, and David, and he's super cool. And he's on an interview quite a while back when they were they'd been around a little while, but kind of getting started. And it's just such a great product, and it is just masochistic, death wish kind of workouts and fun. And so you load it on your laptop or whatever you want to watch it on, and there's music and text prompts, and they yell at you and make you go faster. You got to go check it out, sufferfest.com. And you can get a discount on Sufferfest if you use a discount of 10% if you use ZT Suffers. And the way it works is you download the video, and then you load it on your computer or play it through your TV. And it's just fantastic. It turns an hour-long workout into so much better stuff. It makes it so much more exciting. There's lots of scenery. It's footage shot during races. And the latest one I noticed was that it's now, instead of just cycling, it's during triathlon races. And so they're like, there goes that chick. There's that female pro. Pass her. And I don't know. It's so funny, man. It's great stuff. So again, Sufferfest, discount code of 10% with the code ZT, as in ZenTri, ZT Suffers, all one word, all caps. That's important stuff. You can't forget that. All right, and let's talk for a second about Kai. I mentioned at the beginning of the show in the news that Kai swam across Lake Bryan, and Father's Day is coming up. By the time you get this, it might be Father's Day, and Emily is printing out a picture and framing it for me to have of Kai and I swimming, getting ready to swim across Lake Bryan together, and maybe she's doing a collage. I don't know. I'll have to wait and see what it is. But what a father-son fun thing to do, and just amazing, man. So amazing. My son, he wanted to swim across Lake Bryan, and he wanted to swim across and back, and we just swam across. And he really did it, and the whole time he was just fine, absolutely fine, no problem whatsoever. He slowed down towards the end as it was getting to be a little bit hard for him, but it was a good time. And I felt so proud of him, and I felt proud of myself, that I raised a kid. I had something to do with this. I helped raise a kid to be able to do something so amazing. And now, not only was he on TV, we sent the photos and video to the local TV station, and they ran a short blip on it, like less than a minute. But now the newspaper wants to run an article about him in the Sunday paper, and it's so cool. And this isn't really about Kai. This is about you. You can do this with your kid, and it doesn't have to be swimming. It can be anything. Kids are capable of so much, and as long as they're having fun, they can just do tons and tons of stuff. So take them with you, see what makes their eyes brighten up and what they like to do, and encourage them to really go for it, and find out more about it. And 1.2 miles, age 9, no problem. And he's on a triathlon team, but they only swim like 3 times a week, maybe an hour, and that's lots of sitting around too, And so if you got a 9-year-old kid that's on swim team and does fine, your kid could do this too. So, man, I'm super excited. All right, let's read some emails and answer some questions. Okay, the way this works is you can help support the show by donating to the show, which I love it when people donate to the show. It means that's feedback to me that I'm doing a good job. And we got lots of donors. I was about to say donators. We got lots of donors now, and it's really nice, man. And if you donate, if you do a one-time, this is on the left side of ZenTriathlon.com. You go over there and you scroll down on the left. There is a donate, and it just does it through PayPal if you want. And you can donate. If you donate one time, this is PayPal, the way they set it up. It leave a note, And so that's an easy way to send me an email with your question if you want me to answer a question on the show. And then you don't have to ask a question. I'm just saying you donated. You deserve for me to answer a question. And then or you can set up a recurring donation, and it doesn't have a slot for you to put in a question in there. But that's cool. Send me an email. It's texafornia@gmail.com. Texafornia, TEXAF. Texafornia, not Texasfornia, and not Texifornia. It's Texafornia. at gmail.com. And with your, that you donated and you got a question for me. Or, I mean, you don't have to ask a question. If you feel like you've gotten any value out of this show, some kind of tip or something that's really changed your training and you feel like you want to help out and pay back, just donate. And I get messages like that all the time, that people's training is so much different listening to ZenTri or some of the other podcasts that I mentioned. You listen to Rich Roll podcast, Do You Try podcast, IMTX podcast. There's a million of them out there. There's lots of them that I'm friends with or helped get started even. And so if you listen to the Rich Roll podcast and you love that one, I helped Rich Roll get that one off the ground a little bit, just a little bit, but it was cool, man, to have something to do with that. So, the bigger the community, the more we become happy triathletes and the more fun we can all have, so I'm definitely here to help people out. Okay. So donations, Vince Hancock he donated to the March of Dimes. And here's his message. Yeah, he's just donated to the March Times, and it's because here's his message down here. I keep all this organized and workflowy. I know you guys love to know the tools I use, and I run a self-supported Ironman every year called the Iron Baby, and it's because Kai was born premature, and so I did an Ironman because I was frustrated and didn't know what to do with myself, and there is no registration fee, and you should just donate to the March of Dimes because they help out kids. And or also, if you're a fan of the Iron Baby and you just want to support it, we raise almost $2,000 every year for March of Dimes. And so that's the deal about the Iron Baby. You can go to zentriathlon.com and click on the Iron Baby link at the top and find out tons more about it. Self-supported Ironman, you are invited. Definitely come. All right, so Vince said, Brett, somehow I just got into podcasts recently. I'm not sure why it took me this long, but I'm a quasi-Luddite, I guess. And yours happened to be, did you know what Luddites are? Not you, Vince, but people, go Google it. It's really cool. And yours happened to be the first one I ever listened to. Life-changing. I don't know how I managed to get through bike rides, walks with the dogs, or, life in general without listening to ramblings about triathlons and triathletes. Thanks, dude. I like it when you call it. Ramblings is a good one. Hold on, I'm taking a sip. Okay, so I just signed up for a recurring donation to your site. Thanks, man. However, the reason I'm writing you is that I just listened to the Iron Baby 2013 episode and then read a bit more about the genesis of your site, this event, or more accurately, the reason you do it. It touches the issue nearest and dearest to my heart. My daughter was born on New Year's Eve of 2012 at 25 weeks and 1.5 pounds. That is tiny. And at altitude here in Colorado, making it even more difficult on a severely premature baby. She spent 4 months in the NICU. Yeah, Kai spent 2.5 months in the NICU. I saw babies that were in there for 4 months. That's crazy. And endured 6 surgeries in 2013. She is now doing great and is a true miracle child. Yeah. The science and the technology and the medicine going on in a NICU, it's Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. That's what NICU stands for. You can tell I've lived in one because I know what that stands for. It's amazing. And that's where these donations go to. It's to help out with this cost and make sure that we can help a kid if it's possible. To commemorate her first birthday, I had a graphic designer alter the M. Dot logo to make an A. Dot for Addie. Yeah, and the logo for ZenTri, for the Iron Baby, is a B. Dot. And the tattoo guy made the A look like it's made out of iron. I'm not a tattoo guy, but this is one I'll never, ever regret. The way I see it, we can all train and complete an Ironman if we put our minds to it. I agree. But only a real Ironman or Iron Girl, I guess, can endure so much pain and suffering and come out smiling and laughing like Addie does constantly. Exactly. These kids that survive this are a huge inspiration. They don't even know how hard they're trying, but they're trying really hard. And it makes you, as a parent, say, wow, that kid's trying so hard. If I could try that hard, then I would. What's something hard that I can try that I can show how much I care? And then an Ironman, right? So that's how it kind of ends up working out. I also was going to contribute to the Iron Baby Fund, but wanted to wait, but he couldn't wait. He sent me an email, he couldn't wait. Until closer to the event this year in case there was a specific cause you were supporting. No, March Dimes, man. Every time. and I'm doing Ironman Maryland at the end of September. Cool for you. And I would seriously consider coming down there for Iron Baby 2015. Hopefully one day I'll make it to the event. Keep up the good work. Best, Vince Hancock. Yeah, man. So the Iron Baby was my very first Ironman. It took me 17 and something hours because I had no idea how to do it. I was just doing it. I did a totally self-supported Ironman out of my house by myself. No help from anybody except for my buddy Chris came and saw me out on the run and told me I looked like shit. And I told him, go get me some Doritos. That's how it went down. Okay. Thank you, Travis. That means a lot. That's a really special email. Travis Withers donated $20 to support the show and $10 for Kai's mountain bike. We did a fundraiser for Kai's mountain bike. I'm training for my first triathlon, and the podcast is an inspiration. You're a regular guy who works, takes care of his family, and trains for triathlons. That is true. I love the way, I think is what he meant. You fit the show into your life. And these questions, here we go. I know you have a short attention span, so my question is at the bottom of the email. Let's see. I'm reading through it real quick. I remember this one. My wife is also involved. He's got two boys who are 4 and 1. Oh, that's fun. And I'm inspired by listening to training. I'm born and raised in North Carolina, North Kakalaki. So I sent the 2018 Ironman 70.3 is my goal for my 40th birthday. Man, you might be able to do it sooner than that. I'm 36. I've been training for my first triathlon on July 13th as the way to prevent injury and keep me motivated. I'm 5'10", weigh 235, so you're heavy for your height a little bit, it looks like. But I lost 50 pounds over the past year. There you go, dude. That's kick-ass. I love that. Unfortunately, I've lost and gained the same 50 to 60 pounds 3 or 4 times since college. That happens. I've run 6 half marathons, 2 this year, and running alone has led me to overuse, injuries, and boredom. Yeah. So that's why people start doing biking and swimming to mix it up. I hope the variety the triathlon provides can keep me motivated and excited. Yeah, it will. It will totally. Here's my question. I could not swim up until a month ago. All I ever did it as a kid was doggy paddle and water slide. I'm going to kind of read through this and paraphrase. Swimming has been a struggle in the last month. I've got to swim pooling. He can swim 3 laps non-stop, so 150 yards in 1 month from going from nothing. That's pretty good, man. Swimming's hard. It's really hard because if you really suck at it, you drown and you die. So it's not like running. If you suck at running, well, you just stand there. If you suck at swimming, you die. I run 2:15 half marathon. That's pretty nice. But swimming is exhausting. Yeah, it's exhausting, but that's just because you haven't really figured out how to leverage the resting angles of it yet. My coach says I'm muscling the water. Yeah, if you go on Google Arnold swimming, and there's like Swim Smooth or something like that videos, and it has different categories of people, and it shows guys that swim that have that need a lot of work, and there's one type of swimmer that it looks like they're fighting the water, like literally in a wrestling fist fight match with it. It's pretty funny. It's just one of the many types of us that have trouble swimming. So I have so much leg muscle from my days as a college wrestler that my legs sink. Yeah, maybe that's a little bit possible. She wants me to focus on developing a strong kick. Okay, you don't really need it that much. And it'll just make your legs bigger. However, when you swim, you focus on your arms. Okay, how can I get my legs up to the surface when I swim? Is it all the kick? So that's question number 1. It's all in how you kick, and it's not how much you kick, it's in how you kick. So this is what you need to do, man. And Travis. Okay, this is what you practice. Put your hands on the wall, at water level, right? Now push away from the wall, but keep holding onto the wall. Put your face in the water and then kick just gently until your legs come up, right? So basically like you're blowing bubbles in the water. So your face is in the water, your hands are on the wall, and you're kicking very gently, okay? So that your legs come up straight. Your whole body's straight out. Learn how to kick so that your legs are straight and your feet are breaking the surface of the water and your butt's breaking the surface of the water, and so is your back. It's all breaking the surface of the water, but with just the lightest amount of kick possible. That's how you kick. You want to kick just enough to get your legs up and do that efficiently without it wearing you out. You'll learn that if you point your toes back, it's a whole lot easier, and if you point your toes down or forward, your legs sink immediately. So once you learn that, you can experiment on the wall and start practicing that, and that'll help you a ton. You ought to do that drill before every swim for like 30 seconds so you can feel what it's supposed to feel like, and then when you swim, just continue doing that during your swim. Okay, number 2, my triathlon is not USAT. It is a local Parks and Rec sprint with a shortened swim, 500-meter swim. Wetsuits are legal, but it is Nebraska in July, and it will be hot. I'm thinking of using Xterra Lava pants, which are like a wetsuit bottom. They're supposed to give you buoyancy of a pool boy. When I use a pool boy swimming, it's not nearly as exhausting, because your legs are sinking. I can go 300 meters with no rest. Should I use the pants or get the extra buoyancy of a full sleeveless wetsuit? I would just use the pants. You don't need the full wetsuit, and it'll be harder to get off. And you won't get that cold in a 400, 500 meter swim, especially if this is like a distance for you that's going to be a challenge. You'll get plenty hot. Just as it is, and if you don't need a wetsuit, don't wear it. But the pants, it looks like in your situation, if they allow you to wear those pants, then it'll help you and get your legs up so that you can focus on swimming and then save and using your arms, and then saving your legs for the bike and the run. Now, some people, when I was saying this, might be like, "Oh, if you don't kick, you're not using your forward momentum like you could. You're not propelling yourself forward." The kick propels you forward somewhat, but you need to be careful, and you can exhaust yourself just kicking. Go kick 50 yards hard, and see how exhausted you are after that, and then pull 50 yards hard and see how exhausted you are. You're hardly exhausted at all. So, and then the 50 yards pull, you went way faster than the 50 yards kick. So you can see the effectiveness of kicking it's nice, but it'll wear you out, and it doesn't really propel you forward that fast. So you kind of want to save your legs and use your arms instead. All right, Simon Caulfield, a message. This is for all your helpful, and a donation, all your helpful tweets and tips, despite suffering from spondylolisthesis, and that's some kind of like a vertebrae issue where it pinches off a nerve or something like that in his upper back or maybe his lower neck or something. It looked like it sucked, and it takes you out for a while you have to recover from it. And crappy Irish weather. Ooh, it's a wee bit of Irish weather. I still take your advice on board whenever and wherever I can. Awesome to have a tri coach on tap. Thanks, man. You've kind of put your finger on exactly what I do or my methodology. Hey, if none of this stuff in this show helps you and you just find it entertaining, that's cool. Or like, say you're like a level 3 USAT triathlon coach, like Mike Ritchie is kick-ass triathlon coach, and you can just listen to me and just laugh at how wrong I am about shit. Stuff. I mean, But if you find something useful, man, I'm constantly just spewing out advice and tips, and some of it is correct at times on Fridays. Okay, Spiros Festus donated. Thanks, man. Paul Johnson, John Taylor, and he left a big note. Let's see. Oh, it's a long note. Okay. First, I think it's absolutely awesome how you are spinning the plates of husband, father, worker, triathlete, coach, podcaster, mentor, and all-around good citizen. I was thinking I was going to be sarcastic and say he forgot something, but that's pretty much it. I was a soccer coach at the same time for a while. An assistant scoutmaster. You really seem to have a great understanding of balance, which, given the number of responsibilities you have, is a rare trait these days. Bravo. Thanks, man. I've been listening and supporting your podcast for a little over a year now. It's my second year practicing and participating in triathlons. This summer, I will be participating in the Pleasant Prairie Olympic, June 22nd, Ironman Racine 70.3 in July. That's his A race. Chicago Lifetime Olympic. Whoa, North Shore Sprint, September. I'll also participate in the Big Shoulders Open Water Swim. All right, that's kick-ass. In Chicago, an event, you're right, right after that he said, an event I think you may want to try sometime. Come visit your bro. Yeah, my brother lives in Chicago, and have a swim in Lake Michigan. Dude, I might do that. Big Shoulders Open Water Swim. I kind of like that. Okay, tell me more about it. As most triathletes are, I'm challenged by the training, race day, nutrition. Oh, me too, man. Aspect of the sport. I have heard you using Amarita bars. They kick ass. Beat It Juice. That kicks ass. Hornet Juice. That kicks ass. Fuel 100. I liked it, but I kind of ran out of it, and I haven't re-upped it. Sea salt. Yep. And honey. And I've tried these products and enjoyed them. You also have talked about using maltodextrin powder. Perpetuum, I believe. Well, no. You can buy maltodextrin powder online by like a 50-pound bag. You can, which is a super starch. Ensure and gels. These products I'm unfamiliar with their usage. Anyway, my nutrition training plan currently goes like this. On the bike, between 300 to 500 calories per hour, using a combination of Amarita bars and Fuel 100, while alternating fluids of plain water and the Hornet Juice, sea salt, and honey combo. Run, Hornet Juice, sea salt, and honey combo. Okay. I'm concerned that Racine, I'll be running low on fuel during the run. I am planning on trying these types of gels. Oh, the Humagel. Sorry, phone ring. Humagel. I liked them, man. They're pretty good. During my run, okay. My question for you finally is, what was your nutrition plan? Oh, I emailed him back with this. For Ironman Galveston 70.3. Okay, so there's one theory that I kind of like right now, that you can run a little bit lean on your fuel, and then all you got to do is just add in more, and you'll be all right. Now, if you run too heavy on your fuel, well, then you're kind of screwed for a long time. You got to really slow down, and that sucks, and because you feel sick, right? You don't feel running out of gas. You feel sick, like you're going to puke. And boy, that's how you make somebody hate something, is make them nauseated, whatever, from doing it. So I would say stick with your plan of what you described on the bike and the run. And if you're worried about it not being enough fuel on the run, that's okay, because at Ironman Racine, they will have tons of aid station stuff. And all you got to do is, if you're feeling low, just add a little bit more. And what I found that really works at those aid stations is they have, a lot of times, they have bananas cut into thirds. So you can eat, like 30 calories, 40 calories of banana, which goes down really smooth. It doesn't hurt your stomach hardly at all, and if at all. And then they have pretzels, which go down really easily. And then, of course, the Coke would be your go-to to quickly help with if you're feeling a little bit low. That's what I would do. And I sent him an email already. All right, Fred Parnell gave a donation, and Christopher Allen put in a donation. So thank you so much, guys. Huge help. And again, you go to the left side of ZenTriathlon.com, and you can donate as well. Send me a question, and I'll answer it on the show. And let's see. TrainerView is a sponsor of the show, and that's where you can draw a course on Google Maps, and it'll stitch together the street view and create kind of like a video. It's really fast-moving pictures of the street view. That's the best you can do with street view of wherever in the world that there's street view. You don't have to wait for somebody to go take a GoPro and go video something. You can actually just street view, or you can go ride anywhere and create a video of a course. And also, it's an awesome way to preview a race course. is you can go do this. And Morgan has created this, and there's lots of pre-made race courses on it. You can get $10 off for a year's subscription. This thing is awesome on the trainer, by the way, or on the treadmill. And with the discount code ZenTri, all capital letters. And Morgan wrote this by hand, and it's awesome. You definitely got to go check it out. I love this thing. You can use it for free, but it won't keep stats on stuff that you did. And if you get a pro membership with this discount code of ZenTri, all caps, then you get a pro membership, and it keeps a lot more data on you for you. So that's pretty cool. $10 off. All right, and I think we're going to go ahead and get started with the training log. Super cool training log this time. I jam-packed it full of information. We got an interview with Kai in there and Emily about Kai's swim and how cool it was. I started talking about green tea and all kinds of cool stuff. Maybe cavities in there. I'm having issues with cavities lately, and lots of recovery from Ironman Texas, and just cool stuff in there. So I definitely want you to check it out. I think I forgot to mention Amrita bars. A lot of my daily life is fueled with Amrita bars, and you can get those 15% off with this discount code ZEN. You go to amritahealthfoods.com. I wear their kit. They have the coolest looking triathlon kit. And lots of people are kicking ass and getting podium finishes wearing that kit. It looks awesome. It's kind of like, what's in that kit, man? And it's not. It's what you put in your face, in your food hole, that's actually healthy for you and makes your tummy feel good. And it's both nutritious and gives you lots of energy. And then also Hornet Juice helps sponsor the show. On the right side of the page at ZenTriathlon.com. Oh, wait, let me go back. 15% off Amrita bars when you order them. Discount code ZEN, all capital letters, Z-E-N. And then Hornet Juice is on the right side of the show. They've been with the show almost since day one. It's the craziest stuff, and it really works. It's awesome. It's a protein powder that you mix in with your water, and it gets your body metabolizing body fat so you're more efficient. And you can feel it. It is awesome, and it is made, it's synthetic, but it's not really synthetic, but it emulates the saliva of the Japanese killer hornet. For real, I'm not kidding about that. That's really what it is, and that's why it's called Hornet Juice. This stuff is crazy. It is super cool. I use it all the time. I got a big box of it that they sent me, and I use it all the time. I used one this morning. I used one yesterday. Freaking love it. And you can go check that out. Right side of the page. Order some Hornet Juice. And I send you an email that it's coming to you. And it's pretty cool. All right. So let's get into the training log. And after that, that's the end of the show. And I hope you enjoy. Here we go.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name's Brett, I'm a triathlete. Hi Brett.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
Alright, welcome to a new training log. Start date. I got no idea, I need to stop my watch. I just went for a run. Had a really nice evening run, and what was super cool was, you can hear Kona panting here. It's getting hot down here in Texas. He's all laying in puddles of water. It's all gross, Anyway, on the side of the road, who knows what's in those things? They're like full of snakes and nastiness. Anyway, we're in the training cave right now, and let's see, evening run was really cool because of a few things. Kai rode his new mountain bike that the show helped pay for with his coaching along with me for an hour. And because we're running on some city streets and then undeveloped streets and a old gravel road and an old dirt road that leads to a cell phone tower and stuff like that, perfect for Kai to through his elementary school property. Perfect for him to go over things, and it's got 7 speeds, I think, and a suspension fork, and it's an aluminum frame. It's a specialized Hot Rock 24-inch, I think. So it's perfect It's super cool. Anyway, so as a dad, I'm on cloud nine that my son, went with me. And the whole time he's like, this is so great. I love this, Dad. We should do this every night, And I'm like, well, and a little bit of coaching going in the background, I'm like, well, if you go easy, you can do it pretty much every day. If you go hard, you'll need to take days off in between. And that kind of stuff, like in the background, I think he might remember, as far as like, for anything in life. So, and then I'm doing a thing where I've upped my volume because I actually like training, and the minimalist 12 hours a week was and less was kind of like down to 8 hours a week. I'm kind of like, I actually like going for a run in the evening and going for a swim in the morning and stuff. I kind of like doing about 2 hours a day, and so I've upped my volume, and then what I'm doing is being a little bit careful with how hard I'm going. So I'm going to experiment for a little while with just doing 5 minutes hard at the end of a workout, at the very end if I feel like it, and if not, then just keep going easy and just getting in volume like that. Oh, here comes the cat, and he's coming in there. Someday he's going to walk on this treadmill. Sometimes he turns on the treadmill by accident. He hits the switch on the top by jumping up there, and it'll go off. And I'm like, someday he's going to get on that thing. It's going to throw him into the wall. Anyway, I went through Houston to go. I mentioned on the last show I was going to the hospital to see, go with my dad for a Parkinson's visit, and that went pretty good. And there's a big clinic for that at the VA hospital in Houston. The VA system just sucks, though. God. I mean, they're trying, but we'll call you back and you'll get a letter in the mail in 4 months to set up your next appointment. It's like, what? There was something funny on Jon Stewart on TV where he was like, he played all these clips of the president and everybody else, all presidents, and everybody talking, and the head of the VA and all this other stuff, talking about how important our veterans are, for going to war and stuff like that, especially because it's Memorial Day weekend. And then but then when they come back, man, we got to do better with being speedier, with stuff. It's so slow. Anyway, it's a little. My granddad was in that same VA hospital. Now my dad. I have a coworker whose husband is an Iraq veteran. I know lots of A&M. College Station's a big military town. And so I just know lots of people that are military. And plus I went to military school and I was in the Corps at A&M. And, you just kind of get affiliated with it. It's kind of like I live near a military base in a way. Anyway, well, I kind of do. Killeen is that huge military base. It's a couple hours from here. But let's see. Where did I leave off? Tangent squirrel. On the way back from the VA hospital, I swung by True Tri Sports, TRUTRI, and it's a full-blown huge tri shop on the northwest side of Houston on 290 off of Barker Cypress. And it's an awesome store. I don't think they're getting enough business, so I want to give them a shout out. TRUTRI, and they had just so much crap on sale. Huge selection of bikes. They carry Quintana Roo and BMC, for example. Lots and lots of those. And Blue, BLUE, Blue bikes. They had a couple of those up front. And but anyway, while I was in there, I grabbed some EFS. A lot of people that do really well in races fuel on EFS. So I thought I'd give it a try. And then on this evening's run, I was doing, I've got some old UCAN, so I fueled on that. And that stuff, you can barely even tell it's working because it works so much in the background. And I want to make a comment about the podcast IM Talk, where they interviewed a guy. By the time you get this will be a couple episodes ago. Let me see if I can find it on my phone. Hold on. Let's see. I have the episode. All right. Oh, putting the wet swimsuit in the Nissan Xterra. Cargo box on top. Man, I got some good stuff for y'all this morning. Morning. I got 2 bikes on the back of my car while I went swimming. If you do stuff early in the morning, nobody steals your shit. Because all the people that steal shit are still sleeping in from partying on all the drugs. And being hungover from stealing all the crap. Anyway, my bike was locked to the back. I went for a swim. I got quite a few really cool things to tell you. Training stuff. Cool tips. I went swimming this morning, and yesterday I read something, an article or something. It just kind of crossed my horizon. There's a girl dressed like a 70s, 60s hippie right here. I'm going through the high school parking lot. Must be hippie day or something. Anyway, we swim at the high school swimming pool. It was the swim tip was swim speed equals stroke length times stroke frequency. So if you turn over too slowly, you're not going to go very fast. If your strokes are too short, if you don't stretch out right before you pull, which has a little bit to do with rotation because that helps you stretch a little bit more. You know, if you try to touch the ceiling, you kind of rotate your shoulders a little bit to get up there. Try to touch the ceiling, and that's just barely out of reach. Hey, there's a truck in front of me with 4 bikes in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bikes in the back. Wonder if those are stolen. Anyway, and try to touch the ceiling, it's just barely out of reach. That's how much you should rotate. You know, when you really try to reach, look how you elongate your body to do that. Anyway, I think there's a piece of that frequency missing because you're also talking about stroke power. You know, you can get a whole lot of frequency and speed, but not be pulling anything by not grabbing anything. So there's a little bit of force, torque involved in there. But so I was like, well, this morning I'll swim a little bit more frequent turnover, and I swam 3350 meters in 51 minutes. I had to get out and change or something like that. Anyway, it ended up being 2.4 something miles per hour, which is a 1 hour Ironman swim. And when you speed up your frequency, it's really good for you. It smooths out over time. It smooths out your stroke. You got to be careful though, not to apply as much force because that'll wear you out. Same force, more frequency, blow up or injured joint. And the other thing, I got 2 more things about this swim. When the Suunto Ambit 2 first came out, it had the swim function in it. I didn't like the swim function as much because it didn't seem to be as accurate, and it was missing turns for me. So it was saying I swam like half the distance that I was. So I was using a finger-mounted lap counter to make up the difference. And now, with one of the software updates, I don't know, like a few months ago or something, the thing is so freaking accurate. It's crazy. The Suunto Ambit 2, and whichever one has maybe the 2S has swim in it as well, I don't remember. But holy crap, it is the best training watch on the face of the planet. It is incredible, man. And I was meeting with somebody the other day that has a 910 XT on his wrist, and just the difference in how they both basically do the same thing. And then the Ambit just looks so cool. It looks like a diving watch. I mean, it's so badass. And the Garmin 910 looks like looks like a chunky block of Legos or something. And then and Suunto, when you upload your workouts, they all automatically transfer over to Strava, which is so rad, man. I upload my workout, and the next thing I know, I start getting emails of people going, "Whoa, that was a good workout," because they're seeing me on Strava. Because Strava is it's the Facebook of working out. You know, it's pretty cool. Anyway, merging with traffic is a little bit crazy. Now, another thing I did was I decided Yesterday I went for a run at lunch. It's nice to get out in the countryside. I think I'm going to try doing that more often. It just made my work day just a whole lot better to work out in the middle of the day, just something, and I went for a jog, and it took forever for me to get my legs going and stuff. And I have this problem where it takes me a long time to get going, and I think it's because I'm under-carbed for what I do. Well, that's just a theory. So what I'm going to do is try for a while is pre-fueling, and I did a bike ride last night, and I kind of pre-fueled a little bit and had a fantastic bike ride. And pre-fueling just means getting your body happy with a little bit of blood sugar before you go. And then this morning, I did the same thing in a water bottle. A big water bottle, a tall water bottle, whatever. I mixed a Hornet juice and a scoop of maltodextrin powder and a scoop of old leftover UCAN, which is just the craziest, and some sea salt. It's the craziest concoction of stuff you've ever seen. And my swim workout was fantastic right from the start. I was like boom, 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 cruising along, not having to wait for everything to warm up as long. And it was such a dramatic difference that I think I'm going to try that for a while and try pre-fueling to see if, our time's precious and we're trying to work out. And if you spend half your workout warming up, well, that's to get your systems online and trying to get your blood sugar going and your muscles warmed up. Well, that's a lot of time wasted. So I'm going to try this for a little bit and make sure, body weight doesn't go up and blah, 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 all this other stuff. Make sure I'm not craving carbs like crazy and stuff. And I'm wondering if, so last night we had some pasta after I was done with everything. And I worked out about 2 hours yesterday. And before I went to bed, man, I was craving it like really, really bad. And I'm like, man, I wonder if you pre-fuel a little bit, you can get rid of overeating later, Because if you go you're trying to work out and you're under-fueled, your body's having to dig really deep for stuff, and then possibly later, it's trying to compensate, and then you overcompensate because you start getting sloppy as you get later into the day. And yesterday, today, and tomorrow it's going to be nuts because it's going to be fun though. Well, yesterday I ran at lunch, which is gymnastics of getting that done. I mean, that's hard to do at an office job, but it was so nice, to be out. So I'm going to try to do it again today. And then yesterday on my bike ride, I pretty much ended my bike ride at Kai's triathlon practice, and their practice was bike practice at an elementary school about 2.5 miles from home, but on the other side of a freeway. And I picked Kai up on bike, and I'm like, here, give me your backpack of gear, and I'll carry it, and we'll bike home. And so we biked home from that, and then today, going to swim, and then after, I'm going to try to run at lunch, and just for the therapy part of it, there's training, and then there's just, the effect that training can have on you, that exercise can have on you. It was so nice. And then after work bike, and that's going to be complicated because I got to pick Kai up from the pool that I just left, and then drive him to where they're doing bike practice because it's across town, because it's nice and safe there. And then I might bike there while they're biking. And so to do all that, I can't go back by my house. So I've got all this gear in the car, bikes on the back, and I had to get it all up and going this morning. But there's two things about that. One, the challenge is kind of fun. You're really working your brain, trying to figure out how to organize all this and get it done without screwing everything up or forgetting something. It's good for your brain, to have a little challenge, like a puzzle, And then, so don't be pissed off that it's too much or whatever. It's a challenge. And then the other thing was, I'm like, just because I bring all this stuff doesn't mean I have to do it. I can skip it. I can decide that I'm too tired or whatever. And I'm because you shouldn't train if you're tired, you should take a break. And but you get caught up and go, well, I got all this gear, now I need to train. No, you should evaluate and be like, should I train? Should I train shorter? Should I train not as hard? Should I train harder and shorter? Should I train longer and just go a little bit longer? It's easier, and all kinds of good stuff like that. So anyway, all right, I'm at W to the ERK. Got a lot of stuff to do. Oh, and then this weekend we might go to Huntsville State Park and go trail running. I'm going to take Kai. Emily's going to go out of town for a day, and I might take Kai to the real mountain bike trails at Huntsville State Park in the pine forest. It'll be really cool. There's alligators in the lake. That's it. Out bang. All right. Yeah, this is part of the Rocky Raccoon course. It's pretty tough, huh? You can see why it's so hard. So I'm in the Sam Houston National Forest at Sam Houston State Park with Kai on his mountain bike that was paid for by Coaching for Kai.
Uh-huh.
Isn't this pretty?
Yes.
You were talking the whole ride up here about how pretty it is, and I was teaching you about pine forests and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Listeners may not know, but I have a graduate degree, master's degree, in forestry, of all things. So I should know something about trees. Turns out I took mostly computer classes. But I did have to they made me take some tree classes. So what was I teaching you? What kind of ground do pine trees like to live in?
Sandy and dry.
A little bit dry.
Yeah, a little dry.
Not too wet, right? And pine trees have their leaves all year round, which makes them
evergreen.
Yeah. But there is an evergreen oak tree called a live oak. Right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. So stuff like that. Anyway, we're 20 minutes in to biking. I'm about to give you a coaching tip. You ready?
Yes.
Because when you're going downhill, you're having to ride your brakes a lot because it's kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because of all the roots and stuff. Well, now what I did is I put us onto a trail that doesn't have many roots on it, right? But it's a little bit hilly, right? And you're a little bit scared going downhill because it's a little steep. It seems steep to you, right?
Yes.
Well, what if I told you that to some people that this doesn't seem steep at all?
Okay.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Okay. So my tip is to remember that to some people, this is easy, right? So don't be scared, right? It's just a matter of practice. And then the other thing is Zen flow. So you're having to come to a stop or ride your brakes really hard and being really, really careful going up and over roots and things like that, right? Okay, there's a different way of thinking about it, and you can do it on this trail because it's nice and up and down and even, right? But it does have sandy patches and little bits of roots kind of here and there, a little whatever. Is to think of this, Kai. Think of flowing up and down over the trail like water, right? So if you have energy, use the energy that you got to carry you over stuff and ride it out, right? So think like a cat or like flowing water. And let your energy that you've got take you with it. So when you go downhill, hey, stop for a second. So when you go downhill, let the energy compress you down. And then when you go up, way up and then compress down, like water, like whoosh, like a wave, right? So how would water go up and down this long trail that we're about to go down, right? That's called flow, right? And get into it. Get into the up and down. And we have Amarita bars in your pack. Do you want any? Are you hungry? Are you thirsty? You just took some water. So you're good? All right. And I'm taste testing EFS as a running fuel. So we'll have more of that on the blog and stuff. All right, let's keep going. All right, we're driving back from Lake Bryan. It's Sunday afternoon. And starting at noon, Kai did his first major open water swim, like by English Channel rules. Mommy, what'd you think about it?
I was very impressed. It was awesome watching y'all go.
So what did he do exactly?
Y'all waded into the water, and then y'all swam all the way from one side of the lake to the other.
How far was it?
1.2 miles.
So a 9-year-old just swam 1.2 miles, which is a half Ironman swim.
It's pretty dang awesome.
And it took him 57 minutes.
Yeah. And then he swam part of the way back.
So we had a kayak escort, and then I was in the water too, just swimming along. And so Kai, what was it like?
Pretty cool. All the waves that were from the boats hit us.
You were telling me earlier you weren't scared at all?
I wasn't.
Why not?
Because I've been in open water before, and I've done open water triathlons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no problem at all? Are you
Nope.
glad you did it?
Yes.
What does it feel like now that you are a real open water swimmer?
Pretty cool.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with your life now, from now on out?
I don't know. Yeah.
That's it? Nothing ever again?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Well, what are we doing next?
A bike.
Oh, no, we're gonna get a milkshake.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go get a milkshake.
And listen to this, Molly. So Kai's been talking about, like, right after the swim, he wants to go bike, like to go do a half Ironman.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He's been asking me, like, what's the bike
To go
distance?
do 56 miles.
Yeah. And then the run. He's been, for 2 days, he's been asking me about what are all the distances. So
He thinks that he could do all the. He told me a couple days ago that he could do, or yesterday, that he could do all the whole distance of an Ironman, but just spread it out over 3 weekends. Like this weekend do the swim, next weekend do the bike, and the following weekend do the run. That's what he told me.
wow, okay, that'd be pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not gonna be here next week.
Oh, well, maybe you take a few weeks rest in between. Maybe spread the bike out over like a few weekends or something like that. That's a long bike ride. What do you think, Mommy? Are you pretty impressed?
I'm super impressed. I already said that. I'm very proud of him. It's awesome.
Are you ever nervous?
When the boat started getting too close to I was, and then I was a little concerned. And then I couldn't tell if Kai was swimming or not swimming on the way back, way out there. And then because I could only see you. But
The water's so murky that if you go underwater an inch, you can't see. Somebody can't see you underwater. It's like instant disappearing. So I took a long rope, parachute cord kind of stuff, and tied one of those floating keychain things, those squishy floating keychains, to Kai's ankle with, what was it, about 15 feet of rope. And so when he was swimming, it was being pulled along behind him. So Kai, you could have probably swam even a little bit faster without that thing on you. But Kai would go underwater to take like a pull of breaststroke to get started again. And he would just completely disappear, and it would freak me out for a second. And then he'd pop back up. As soon as he'd go under, I'd look for that blue thing like floating in the water, and I'd be like, oh, there it is. So, and then one time, Kai, remember when I pulled you to a stop by pulling on it? I was trying to get your attention to tell you to swim straight because you were veering off to the side. So, and then Jesse was our escort, and in the kayak. And when we got to the other side, he said there was 2 huge fish in the shallows that he was poking at with a paddle. So, all right, that's it. Out, bang. All right, we are back. Training log. It's been a while. Thursday. Leaving the pool. I gotta eat and drink, guys. So you misophono whatevers, whatever the fear is of hating, listening to people eat and drink. I'm gonna pull the mic away while I do it. It's a thing. I don't get it. But anyway. Oh, I've gone a little bit too low carb lately and got moody last night. Emily, where are you? She's late, She's helping take care of other people. I'm like, you need to take care of your family. But I know what's cool is I know what it is. And that's so nice. Learning the science and having knowledge to figure out what's going on with your body and your mind when things are happening. And And on one hand, I'm like, oh, you know, I'm almost 41 now, 40, and I really could have used this knowledge early on. And dang it, you know, my life could have been different probably if I knew the stuff that I knew now, if I knew it then, you know. But then I'm like, well, I mean, that's the breaks. Because what makes it okay is, well, if I don't know it, I can pass it on to other people, and other people with more time to live, you know, people in their 20s or something like that. And Kai, you know, who's like 9, pass it on to him so he knows. And that's how the human race continues to evolve and get smarter and smarter. And technology continues to make life somewhat better and definitely more interesting. So the latest thing is Kai's swim. I emailed the local TV station and the local newspaper, and the TV station ran a little TV spot on Kai, just under a minute long, and 1 second pretty much for every minute that Kai swam, showing on TV, and that he swam across Lake Bryan, 1.2 miles. And then the newspaper called yesterday and wants to run an article on Kai, and they wanted to interview him. And I said, yeah, sure. You may not get that much out of him, because on the phone he's like, yeah, great, good, you know, like a typical kid. And so we'll see. And Emily posted to Jamie Patrick's Facebook wall, I guess. I'm not a big Facebooker, so I don't know how it works. But he that the link to the TV blurb, and Jamie Patrick, who was male open water swimmer of the year a year or two ago, and who swam across Lake Tahoe with me, was like, holy crap, that just made my day. Way to go, Kai. 9 years old, a 9-year-old open water swimmer doing a half Ironman swim. It's freaking crazy. And again, the coolest thing about the whole swim, the thing that keeps coming back to mind, is that Kai wanted to do it. I did not push him into it at all. It was totally his thing. I actually talked him down from swimming across and back. Dude, let's just swim across. And then, but that he was not scared at all. Absolutely no fear. He looked at me like I was crazy every time I asked if he was if he felt scared, or, you know, was he worried or anything like that. He's like, no. And that was just nuts. And then, what was the other thing? He, the mental picture I keep getting when I think about the swim was him neck deep in water, you know, up to his chin, up to his nose. We're stopping, you know, and just kind of treading water, and I'm checking on him, you know, and I'd go, is everything good? And he would just smile, like the biggest, stupidest smile, like he was having the time of his life, and then hold his thumb up, like thumbs up, and then go, yeah, let's go. I was like, okay, you're free. Then it hit me like a day later. I'm like, he's freaking crazy, is what he is. Anyway, so there's that. Got into a little bit of a higher fat, low carb kick for a little bit, and then after a couple days, start feeling the effects of getting grumpy and you know, wanting more carbs and stuff. So I mean, it either doesn't work for me or I'm doing it too fast. Probably a little bit of both. And then to the amount that I was doing it. And I'm trying to think whatever else. W to the ERK. WERK is German for work. Somebody pointed that out to me. Got a whole bunch of emails lately about stuff that we'll read off in the emails from listeners section and donation section. And I think that's it. It was really cool hearing the Tawnee interviewing Sami Inkinen. And I'm going to pick on Ben Greenfield for just a second, not in a bad way, but he was on her latest podcast, and he was saying, you know, never did I say, and never should you do the ketosis diet for weight loss. It's more of a disease management kind of diet. It has too much, I think he said it has too much possibility for messing up your thyroid and stuff like that. So you only don't do it just recreationally for weight loss. And I was like, so I was thinking about it, and I'm like, man, I don't know, Ben, like you came across like you should do this to everybody. And maybe he didn't, maybe it was us interpreting his talks that way. And because I was like, no, he did an Ironman in ketosis, right? And then he said, if he would he ever do it again? And he said, yeah, he would. And then I thought about it again, and I'm like, but he never said he did it for a race, for racing, not for weight loss. So I don't know, I'm a little confused, but that's okay. Just when you think you have things figured out, you get a little twist in things, and people are allowed to change their mind and do whatever. It's up to you to stay on top of things and keep things straight as the world changes. I've taught Kai, oh my gosh, a little Zen moment right here. I've taught Kai that, and he's gotten it, like totally gets it, and has repeated it back to me many times on his own, that the only thing that doesn't ever change is change. Change is constant. Everything changes all the time. He'll say, everything changes all the time, right, Daddy? I'm like, yeah, you're right. People die, people are born. This house, we were talking to him, Emily and I were talking to him about our house has a little crack somewhere or something, I don't know, whatever it was, doorknob's coming off or something like that. I said, yeah, the house is changing. So everything changes. The house is falling apart. Everything wants to fall apart once it's made over time. If nobody lived in this house and nobody took care of it, it would fall apart. I'm looking at a sidewalk right now driving, and there's weeds growing up through the crack because there's change. Everything changes. And people get really pissed off and upset whenever they think things are going to stay the same, And my buddy Morgan and I have a big joke about got everything all figured out, because you'll never have everything all figured out because everything's changing all the time. And let's say you do get everything figured out and everything stays the same, right? Well, then you change. Your body changes, your hormones change, your height changes, your hair changes, everything changes, And then the weather changes, everything changes. But what's one of the facets of this is that's important to remember is entropy, which is I'm not an expert on entropy, so I'd be careful with this. I may be off by a little bit, but I believe it means the law of the universe that everything tends to kind of fall apart and to a state of disarray, chaos, and I'm not making that up. That's an actual rule. That's not like The Secret, the law of attraction or some crap like that. But it's everything falls apart, and it's so funny that Zen and Buddhism figured this out 2,500 years ago, I think, just through observation, and have been teaching it for that long. And everything falls apart, and people are miserable when they expect it not to. So all you have to do is be okay with things falling apart, and that's normal, and that it takes a little bit of work to try to keep things together, or you have to constantly keep on top of things. And when you do, and you realize that, you're a whole lot happier. I'll talk about it probably in another podcast, but the 83 problems, which is pretty good. All right, that's it. Out. Bang. All right, I know I'm on my headphone thing, so it doesn't sound as good. I'm on my way to the dentist. Oh, crap. Let's see what happens. I know. So my teeth started going bad once I started doing endurance sports. Oh, squirrel moment. There's a turkey buzzard over there picking at an armadillo. That's roadkill. Anyway, my teeth started getting cavity spots on them when I started doing endurance sports a lot. And you're bathing your teeth in sugar. And then it got really bad when I was eating a liter of green smoothie every day, constantly sipping on it. And although I was feeling pretty healthy and pretty fit and getting lean from that, it's green smoothie. Did I say fruit smoothie? Is because you use fruit to sweeten it, and you're bathing your teeth in it constantly, taking a glug here and a glug there. That was my method. Well, you're bathing your teeth in acid, which is even worse. Sugar and acid. So there's all that. So I quit doing the green smoothie. I'm very much a fan of the green smoothie, and I might start doing it again, but more judiciously, because it tears the living F out of your teeth. It ain't cool. I got a truck trying to merge. Well, maybe not. Okay. So let's go in to the doctor and see what we got. Out. Oh crap, that sucked. Dang, I hate this, man. You hear things at the dentist office that things you just don't want to hear. There's signals and signs of that you're not doing it right. Brett, every time you come in here, you got more cavities. What are you doing? And they think the endurance sport stuff I do is great, you know. But he said, you know, this. So I got between two molars, where the teeth almost touch. I got a cavity on both sides, both teeth, and then the outside of another tooth has some decay. And I had braces for a long time as a kid, so some of it's from having braces. And little spots. I fall asleep because I'm tired sometimes without brushing my teeth at night. And I drink coffee, so it's acidic. But, you know, the sugary stuff that you use to, but I use for fuel does a lot of it, but I'll eat sugary stuff and then immediately rinse out my mouth. I don't do just Gatorade, right? I'll do a sugary drink, a big glug, and then immediately wash my mouth out with water to follow it up. You know, and you know, but like I said, there's little signals that you're doing it wrong. The receptionist is trying to book. You know, when I'm coming back and she's looking at a chart of where I have these cavities, she goes, "Oh, so many cavities." I walked out of there just going, "Dang, man. This sucks. My teeth are changing. I don't like it. But I think I can do better." It's a mistake to blame everything else. There's something I'm not doing right. And what was cool was I was listening to a Zen talk. Out of the San Francisco Zen Center as a podcast while I was get my teeth cleaned and stuff, and they said, what was it? Tendai, I think was the type. The Zen master guy giving the talk was saying that there's a type of practice, Zen practice for monks or whatever, that is so hard to achieve. Just, I don't know, whatever, to be Zen. And it's so hard, only 50 people have ever completed it in 1,500 years. So he said the final part of it, a Bentley, the final part of it is a, what is it? 3 days. It was either 2, but I think it was 3. 3 days of no drinking, no water, and no food, no water, and something else. And his comment on it was so much distress and hard work and basically frustration. 3 days of this, of really torturing yourself to discover something that's been there along the whole time anyway. And I thought that was really cool. And what he means is you're already a perfectly functioning human. All your systems are running and intact, and everything is the way it is. And it's undoing all the crap that you've added on top of it, thinking things should be different or whatever, to come to terms with reality. That's all the hard work. And people will go to retreats and do all this frustration and angst and everything, only to find out that the whole time, only to finally learn that the whole time that they're fine. It's just their viewpoint, where they were standing and to look at the situation just needed to be changed. And because you can't change the situation, you can only change, how you perceive it. And so nothing, all that work, 3 days of no food, no water, no nothing, only to discover something that's been there the whole time. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. I'm going to run into Freebirds and get a couple of tacos, because now I'm hungry. So one thing that Dr. Kaiser said, he said a lot of these things that are really healthy for you end up tearing up your teeth. I mean, your teeth aren't meant to last forever. There's a reason why old people have no teeth left in the end. You wear them out. Cows chew them down, It's like only sharks that, keep regenerating teeth. He said, 6 meals a day, it's really healthy for you, but it's just the constant exposure. And he's right. 6 meals a day is really healthy for you. It's so healthy for you. But my God, it's apparently not so hot for your teeth. So I'm going to start brushing 3 times a day, every day, no matter what, and do this fluoride thing at night that he said. I got to put an end to this because it costs money. Fillings cost money. A lot of money. That's a lot of pain and it's a lot of unnecessary. My mom has a word for upset. That's just not necessary. And you can avoid it. So I just need a different perspective, a different viewpoint on what I'm doing. Either come to terms with that's what's going to happen with my teeth, or treat my teeth, have different habits. And I should see a change, possibly, maybe. We'll see. We'll find out. All right, that's it. Out, bang. All right. I'm running along a country road with Kona, the wonder dog. Just had a couple of cars go by. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet. Some crows, some wildflowers. Here's some motorcycles. This is the road where many episodes ago I used to record the chihuahuas coming out and attacking me. Y'all probably heard that. The time I had to bop the Dalmatian on the head. But anyway, an airplane going overhead. Sun setting. It's Thursday evening. Just out for an easy run. Really not feeling it. Like, not feeling strong, but really feeling like getting out. I'm gonna go do something. I've cut way back on my run volume. And getting back on it hurts. I was just telling somebody today, he's like, I'll do anything, but I won't run. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I understand. Running sucks to get started. But boy, once you're a runner, it is the best thing in the world. Because it is the cheapest and fastest way to get some exercise. With some cars. Now we're running in a major 2-lane road. There's no cars coming the opposite way, so we ran in that lane while those cars went by right there. Okay. Now we're in some grass. This is what you call a soundscape. Somebody's describing what they're seeing to you by audio. So I was thinking about how starting off on this run,
Dude, I think I'm probably running an 11 or 12 minute mile, and it hurts. My ankle's twisted a little bit. It's really, really slow. And we're so quick to judge on our overall abilities based on one little thing, you know? Here, come on, let's go over here. Now we're gonna go off onto an abandoned road. They built a new intersection and locked this corner off. Here comes a truck with a camper. I bet they're coming over here. We better get totally off this road. Okay, now we're in a little field. I didn't need to have this much commentary. Hear the diesel pulling the camper. There you go. Sometimes there's no commentary. It's just running. That's what it is. We run. Over here, buddy. We're going this way. I know it's hot. Well, this is what we're doing. Oh, let me walk for a second while I rub my forehead. Get some sweat off. It's really humid. But the sun's starting to go down, so it's only, 85 degrees. Before we left the house, I tied Kona to the wall outside and then sprayed him down with the garden hose. And, even though he's a lab, he's still like, what the hell? Leave me alone. Okay, now we're on a very much dead-end road. We're going to run out and back. It's going to be real nice. It's going to be real nice. Hey, get out of there. No. God, you're so disgusting. Got to be into everything. All right, so anyway. So I'm like, I'm a terrible runner. I'm running so slow. How am I ever going to be any good? It's so funny. You are what you are right now. You can't be anything else. Anything else is impossible. The universe didn't work out that way. Sit there wishing for other different. It's physically impossible for it to be different. There would have to have been a different world history for the situation to be different. Millions of things would have had to go differently. So I'm like, how you running? But I did think of something I might like to try. I think I mentioned this earlier. I actually like volume a little bit. I think my problem in the past, there's a bunny rabbit. There's a freaking bunny rabbit right there. Kona, look, there's a bunny rabbit. You didn't see it. We saw some deer a few minutes ago, though. They were big. As my friend would say about a horse, when his Rottweiler would see a horse, the Rottweiler would freak out. A big dog. No, that's not a dog, that's a horse. Anyway, I think it's always so nice and to pull away from training for a while and get to revisit everything, reevaluate everything. And that's definitely the upside of being injured, is you can reevaluate. Listening to the Ritual podcast with the girl on there that was the gold medalist breaststroker, I have this theory, I've mentioned it before almost everybody's epic performance, there's an injury or a situation where they can't train for a while. They have to take a long break. And then they come back, and kick ass better than ever before. So this girl, let's walk around this corner. Ooh, sunflowers. Big field of sunflowers. Soon that'll all be condos. Get rid of all this nature. Yuck. Oh, I saw a tarantula the other day on my bike. I posted pictures on Twitter. he was crossing the road, and I stopped traffic to help him get across the road. Just one truck. He honked at me. It's a 2-lane road. One car in 5 minutes comes by, and he honks at me that I'm in the road. Like, he could totally go around me too, by the way. I was just in one lane. I threw my hands up in the air like, what the hell? Because he threw his hands up in the air like, what are you doing in the road? I threw my hands back at him like, what are you doing honking, dumbass? Go around. Anyway. That's your non-Zen moment. You gotta have something. On this show, I come across somehow as like this really level-headed person. And I am most of the times, but I'm just as unlevel-headed and chaotic and crazy as anybody else. More so at times, I think. Anyway. You take anybody that's been to military school, Marine Corps military school, when they were a young teenager, and then their entire freshman year in the Corps at A&M, which was my situation. And they're going to think that they're tough. I think I mentioned that before. I was a bouncer for almost a year. A big bar, lots of fights and stuff. Sometimes I think I'm a lot tougher than I am. Wave back at the guy. He's probably got 16 guns in his truck. You know? And there I am waving back at him like I'm a F you. Anyway. So I think about that. That was a lifetime ago, all that stuff. It's almost 20 years ago. A lot of it. Some of it way more than 25 years ago. But anyway, I saved a tarantula. It was really cool. Oh, and he got all mad, and then he started trying to attack my bike. I was taking the rear wheel of my bike, holding my bike up off the ground and kind of trying to scoot him along so he'd get out of the road. And the tarantula goes, F you. Oh, and he started waving his arms in the air, his legs. It starts attacking me. Climbed up my bike 3 times, trying to come at me, trying to jump at me. And sink. They have fangs, man, big fangs. You can see them, big black fangs. Anyway, I got him out of the road. It was cool. So I'm a volume. I like the volume. You know, one of our frequent hosts, John Hirsch, we've talked many times about how he's hyper, I guess. I don't know what the technical diagnosis is for him. You know, he's hyperactive, like a lot of us are. And we're not happy unless we're stimulated. Emily came to terms with that a long time ago. I don't know when the conversation actually was where I got it through to her. And I'm like, you pin me up. You know, it's a difference between an apartment dog and a hunting yard dog, you know, like a country dog. There's some dogs that just tear the crap out of everything because you're trying to keep them in a house. Dalmatian is a really good example. So a Dalmatian is a horse carriage dog. That's why you see them with fire departments, because fire departments used to haul their water carriages by horse. And so in Eastern Europe, they used to accompany people on horseback, fancy horse carriages traveling town to town. They were stable dogs, and they would run with the horses. This is a really cool story, by the way. They would run with the horses, and if you're living in a small or a European village and the streets are kind of crowded, and you see a Dalmatian come running through the streets, that was a sign to get the hell out of the road, out of the alley, because a carriage of a rich guy or somebody is about to come through, and they're going to run over your ass. So these carriages travel from town to town, you know, from out of town to into town. So quite a distance. So Dalmatians were bred for the running gene. 20 miles a day, 20 to 25 miles a day. And they're happy. That makes them happy, you know? And you don't run them and they get really destructive because they have lots of energy. Border collies, same way. They want to herd. They want to corral things. They want to work. Working dogs. Cattle dogs, same way. You don't let them run. Let them figure out things, play games. They get destructive. They're like raccoons. And then back to the Dalmatians. Another cool thing about Dalmatians you'll notice is they jump around and act real silly, and they jump sideways and slam into each other a lot for fun. They actually do this. They'll do a circle and then slam into something with their chest. That's to knock things out of the way so the horse carriages can get through. It's really crazy. And then I used to have a Dalmatian. I researched this. Like, why in the world is he acting like such a freak? Anyway, so they're considered the gymnasts of the dog world because they are the acrobats. They do crazy stuff. So, and then some dogs make great apartment dogs. They don't need to go run. They're very happy just hanging out and don't crave exercise. So there's lots of animals that are like this. And within a species, there's variance, you know. So I think I'm coming to terms with that I'm like a Dalmatian. I think John Hirsch is like a greyhound. He's fast. I may not necessarily be fast at all compared to a fast human, but man, I like to move. I just like to move. I like to be outside. I like to see grass. I love mountains. I love the outdoors. I've told my employer I can't have an office without a window. I have to work where there's a view, or else I'm going to have to go somewhere else where there's a view. I know it's crazy, but I did it for years. Man, I hope I never ever have to do it again. It is horrible. Horrible. I'd survive, you know, but I'd be looking for something else. So my approach might be for a little while, because I got time, because there's nothing coming up, is back to some volume. But what I was doing before was I wasn't taking rest when I should have, and I was going just a tad bit too hard. If you go gently, you can get faster without burning yourself up. Yeah. So I think that's where I'm at. Alright. Sun's starting to go down. It's really pretty right here. Like, for example, I'm running across on a sidewalk. It's next to a big empty field, and there's a sign. They're going to put in a giant gas station right there. They're all excited. And to me, it's devastating. All those animals and all that nature, that's soothing, all that soothing green, and critters, tarantulas, turtles. I saved 2 turtles out the road same Sunday. All gone. So that we can have those gas pumps, you know, that blare out messages. They play music out of a really shitty speaker. Baby, come inside and get a 40-ounce cola. Get 2 for 50 cents. get fat, get stupid, and then play the lottery. Baby, baby, baby. Ah. And lights, overhead lights, 24/7, floodlights, no darkness, no relaxing darkness at night. Anyway, change. You don't like it? Get used to it. Stay on top of it, actually, more than anything. Move somewhere else that you like better. All right, that's it. I'll be back in a bit. Bang. All right, we're on the bike. Let's see if I can move this mic around. I got a plastic bag around the mic. See if I can do better than that. Hold on just a second. Okay. And all my my long rant yesterday, I remember after I finished recording, the girl on the Ritual podcast dropped 4 seconds off of her world-class breaststroke 200 time, which is unheard of. After going to get heart surgery and taking some time off to recover. It took her like a year, you know? And then you come back super strong. So I'm riding on an access road next to the freeway. Saved a turtle already this morning. Gave up on another one. He was suicidal. There we go. Ah, this is nice. So when I was biking yesterday, driving to swim, I noticed the sun was up already at 6, just barely though. And I was like, man, I want to bike. So this morning I got up and biked. It's just a little bit dark when I started, and I got the blinky light. Maybe we'll get a car come by here. There's a guy I'm chasing over the horizon. I've seen 2 cyclists this morning. This guy's fast. The other guy I passed, no problem. Well, I don't really care one way or the other. And this guy, though, is just out of reach, which is nice. Maybe y'all can hear that. The freewheel. I don't know, the microphone on this device, on the Black Mamba, has a compressor on it, and it gets rid of, you know, ambient noise. So I'll have to listen to this to see how much it got rid of. So, motivated by my dentist visit yesterday, brushed my teeth last night, of course, everybody did. But then I read on a Slow Twitch forum, one thing you can do is brush your teeth before you go on a workout, and you're going to eat all this sugary crap. Hold on. And then you'll your mouth will be clean. And then definitely another tip, what I do is I keep my food and water separate. And I'm going to do this a lot more. I found myself doing this morning. I thought I'd share it. I took a sip of sugary crap. And then I'm going to swallow it. And then swish your mouth with water. Like, you know, when you see somebody do a mouthwash, like that. Take a nice big glug of fresh water. And then swallow it. Knock that crap out. Get it out. Get it out. This is not safe what I'm doing. It's kind of safe. But I've got no brakes. I got no hands on brakes. I don't like it. Maybe I should get a, oh man, if I get a Bluetooth recorder. Yeah. I could mic it up and ride and do this. This doesn't seem that bad. Alright, man. Anyway, I'm cresting a hill. I'm going to go downhill. Be back later. Out. Bang. How do I turn this off? There.
Oh man, this is going to be one of the more useful things I say on this podcast here in a second. I was like, man, this show is all about tooth decay. This is serious stuff, man. Chrissy Wellington, I think Jody Swallow, lots of triathletes that are famous, lots of endurance athletes, cyclists, post on Twitter. Another visit to the dentist. Freaking teeth are rotting out, right? So this is a very serious subject that costs a lot of money and a lot of pain. So tooth health. So I'm walking around the house drinking a green tea, or about to drink a green tea, and I'm like, I wonder if green tea is good for your teeth or bad for your teeth, right? Dude, in this day and age, with a smartphone in your pocket, you never have to you got to get in the habit of Googling whatever your question is. As soon as you have a question in your mind, you Google it. And I find it really odd that more people don't do this. I do it constantly. I'm like, I wonder if brick mailboxes are more safe for cars or kids than wooden post mailboxes, you know? I mean, like, if you think of anything, just Google it and find out, you know? And you'll come up with varying results and then kind of decide. But at least you'll know some statistics or something, you know? Are there any oak trees that, are green all year round? I wonder. Everybody just sits around and looks at each other at the breakfast table. Oh, I don't know. So go look. Anyway, is green tea good for your teeth or bad for your teeth? I'm sitting here trying to take care of my teeth, and I'm about to drink a green tea, and I'm like, well, should I be worried about this or not? I know that coffee is not. I'm pretty sure. I've Googled that before. And that is, it's acidic, and it stains and stuff like that, right? So I Google it, and I'm sitting there reading my smartphone, walking around the house, drinking my green tea, feeling like a genius, because it is. It's good for your teeth. Okay, and this is why. One, green tea. Oh, go. Beat the oncoming traffic. Go. Green tea has a little bit of fluoride in it. Just a tiny amount. Is it inconsequential? I don't know. Did you know, I forgot what region it is in Africa, but you see the Africans that are like the huge white smile, you know? Well, there's a bush that has thorns on it that grows around there. If you break a thorn off the bush and use it as a toothpick, you clean your teeth, and it also happens to have some fluoride in it. And you end up with people with clean teeth, and culturally it's a habit. I don't know if they do this anymore, but culturally it's a habit. Just you walk by one of these bushes, you break off one of the thorns, and chew on it, and pick at your teeth with it. How about that? So, naturally occurring fluoride is a thing, and it helps a lot of people, and it has for. Hold on, I gotta make sure I got my bag. Do I not have my bag? Hold on. I gotta pull over here. For a second. Did I not grab my bag? I need my bag. My bag of magic. Oh, looks like we got to go back to the house. Did I forget it? Oh, man, and I was just on time for work. Okay, well, we got to go around. Back to the house. I'm probably going to pick up a nail in my tire because I'm driving where I shouldn't be driving. New construction. New change. Anyway, what was my point? A little bit of fluoride. And green tea has some antibacterial properties. So it kills off bacteria in your mouth. And the dentist yesterday was just saying, it's the bacteria hanging out in your mouth, that, man, I was going to be early to work now. Now I'm going to be late. I went from early to late in one shot. Watching this traffic accident about to happen. There we go. So this leads me to something else. Studies show that people who, that the more green tea someone drinks, on average, the better their dental health. Let's just say dental health actually is. Isn't that cool? So switch from coffee and drink green tea instead. Okay, so let's talk about practical application as far as triathlon life goes. Okay, caffeine, good. Everybody loves caffeine. If you don't, you're a Nazi or something. But the point is, let's talk about adding caffeine to your fuel. If you make your own mix of fuel or you want to add caffeine to your fuel. In my case, NoDoz and stuff like that, Vivarin, these caffeine pills that you can take, they actually hurt my stomach. That's actually lab created. It's artificial caffeine and it's too strong. There's all different types of caffeine. And the caffeine in green tea is just slightly different than the caffeine in coffee, and that's just slightly different from caffeine created in a lab, out of chemicals, and that's just slightly different than caffeine in yerba mate. And I know yerba mate is matine instead of caffeine. All these things affect people differently. I'm 99.9% sure that the caffeine in yerba mate makes me have to start peeing all the time. I thought I had a bladder infection years ago, several times in a row, and it turned out I quit drinking yerba mate and it went away, and I started drinking yerba mate and it came back, right? So there's your N equals 1 study. But so when I do a triathlon and I pop a caffeine pill, I end up having like strong stomach pains, and it really hurts my stomach, and then it gives me gas, I think, from the stomach pain and all kinds of stuff. So at Ironman Texas, and possibly one of the things that made my stomach hurt on the bike and keep me from digesting stuff was the fact, and I'd done this on rides and hadn't had a problem. I put a Folgers instant coffee in my fuel bottle, and over 4 hours, I drank one of those and didn't experience any kind of problems. Walking back into the house to get my bag here. Hold on. And here's my bag. Duh. And we got lights on. Let's turn some of these lights off. Turn off the lights, as my dad would say. You live in a barn? Barns don't have lights, Dad. Anyway, so a 4 hour ride, one packet, one serving of Folgers instant coffee mixed in there for the caffeine, because that kind of caffeine doesn't bother me. And I would ride like that, mixed in with my fuel, It doesn't bother me. Ironman Texas, it's a 5.5 hour ride. I put in 2. Then I ended up drinking it too fast anyway. That could have been what made my stomach hurt. But I've been eyeballing this stuff called matcha, and I didn't know about it, or glossed over it in my life. But I saw Tawnee tweet something about that she was ordering matcha. I was like, what is matcha? And I tweeted, after I figured out what it was, Googled it, duh. What is matcha? And it's green tea powder. And I think the main gist is that it's powdered green tea, where they just grind up green tea. And now it's a powder. You can add it. You can make tea out of it, because it's kind of like instant tea powder. But I guess you could do other things with it, like sprinkle it and stuff. You could maybe cook with it. I don't know. Put it in other things. But I saw that and I was like, man, that's interesting. And then I was reading on Slow Twitch about the people were talking about fuel, for long distance racing, long bike rides and such. And the one guy was saying, he was making his own fuel, and then blah blah blah. And he was like really strongly enthusiastic about this. Like, guys, add some herbal tea. And I'm like, no, you're getting the herbal crap. Okay, whatever. And if I'm gonna drink tea, it's gonna have caffeine in it. It's gonna be from a tea leaf, not from a yopon or a berry tree or something that's questionable on whether it really works or not, And but it made me start thinking. I think maybe he said green tea too, but he definitely was saying tea, And so and there's a difference actually between tea and tea. So tea is, tea leaves from a tea plant soaked in hot water, so it extracts the chemicals out, and then you enjoy it. And then herbal tea is typically anything but a tea plant. And so you take leaves of a dandelion or something like that and soak that and get all the nice happy chemicals out of that. But nothing has caffeine in it like tea or coffee, So the herbal stuff is kind of meh. And you got to be wanting the chemicals that come out of those other plants for whatever reason to be into that kind of tea. So that's why I'm saying he was like herbal tea, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of like what is that branch of medicine? That's a total quackery. Well, there's many. They're most. Anyway, but there's teas like that make you sleepy, and it's the plant has calm-inducing, sleep-inducing characteristics, right? It'd be the opposite of caffeine. So there you go. But anyway, back on track. I'm like, matcha is green tea powder. I've done a couple rides now where I've put a green tea bag, at least one ride, where I microwaved green tea. I made some green tea in a bag, and then I poured the tea into a fuel bottle, and then added my fuel, and used that base of green tea as a lot of the liquid, to mix up my fuel, and it was fine. I barely noticed it. I didn't notice the green tea flavor at all. In fact, it might have been kind of nice. But now I'm thinking, like, well, instead of that, what if I just got matcha, ordered some matcha, or go find it, and then scoop it, right? And then shake it up. And then I have green tea instantly. And then I've got green tea right in my fuel bottle. It's got a little bit of fluoride and caffeine that doesn't hurt my stomach, and whatever, antibacterial kind of in there a little bit, and use that as my caffeine basis for stuff. I think I'm going to try it. Anyway, that's my gist. Is consider okay, so one, green tea, good for your teeth. If you're having tooth problems or you're just a triathlete in general, you might want to consider switching over to green tea as your source of caffeine. It's better for you. And then it may even prevent stuff, and tooth decay may help out a lot. And also, one way to get green tea is this stuff called matcha, M-A-C-H-A. And Tawnee, I almost said Tawnee Prazak is an enthusiast of matcha, so you might want to ask her more about it, because I don't know anything about it. So hit her up, Tawnee Prazak, on the Twitters. All right, that's it. I got to get the W to the ERK out. Bang. All right, leaving the hardware store. Man, they have the coolest app in there. Hold on, let me put on my old lady sunglasses. One time I was in the grocery store, HEB is what we call it. What we have down here, Howard E. Butts. For real, HEB. And I love getting cheap sunglasses because I've had expensive ones before, and it seems like the more expensive they are, the faster I scratch them, lose them, break them. And then if I get super cheap ones, they last forever. I never lose them. And if I do, then it's like, oh well. So I was walking like the old people prescription area. Oh, a new Corvette. Cool. Very cool. Wow, it looks a lot different than the older ones. We'll get to that in a second. So for cycling and for running, just huge sunglasses. And I like the amber tint because it's best for seeing stuff in the road. It's also called driving lens color. And that's what color my goggles are. Kai, I don't know, whatever. And I got a fluorescent light bulb, 2 fluorescent light bulbs, hope I don't break them. I got these huge sunglasses. But I think they're old lady sunglasses, Because Emily's got a pair that's almost exactly the same, and they have like glitter on them. Anyway, let's do errands around the house. Let's walk around this Corvette. Yeah, it's a Stingray. Very cool. It's got a little Stingray logo on it. It's got air vents over the rear wheels, over them. Very nice. Good job, Chevy. Way to make a Ferrari killer, dude. Holy crap, that is a wicked freaking car. This one's blue. Nice. All right. So anyway, I was just in Lowe's hardware store, and they've got an app that helps you find stuff. And I'm thinking that this is finally, this is why apps were invented on your phone. This is so cool. Because at a hardware store, it's so hard to find stuff, especially a big one. And then it's hard to find stuff, and what was I saying? And people don't want to help really, or they're busy, So the staff that does know stuff, they're pretty knowledgeable, but they don't know everything. So, like, I was looking for self-leveling caulk. Okay, so I walk into the store and I see this app built on a little billboard, big billboard, a link to the app and kind of what it looks like. It shows you can search for stuff, and it shows you on a map inside the store where it is, right? And so I download it, install it, run it, and I type in caulk. And it goes, here's all these caulks, row whatever, bay whatever. And I'm like, row 4, aisle 4, row whatever. And I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. But it's on the other side of the store, right? So I start walking for it. And then I'm like, well, while I'm walking, I'll search for Amdro. We got fire ants that are trying to live inside the house. And so I'm like, well, I'll search for the Amdro while I'm walking to this other thing. So while I'm walking to get the caulk, I figure out which aisle the Amdro is on, right? And then I'm like, well, that's pretty freaking cool, and that's on the other side of the store. So while I'm walking to find one thing, I'm searching for another thing. And it's like I said, if you don't know where something is, Google it. What something is, Google it, and that'll help. And holy crap, this was cool. So if you're in charge of a business and you don't have this, get it done. And if you're looking for hardware stuff, or you're looking for stuff in a big store, see if they have an app, because man, that makes it easy, And I found all this caulk, blah blah blah, and then I'm like, well, where's self-leveling? The guy told me to get self-leveling, and so I couldn't find it, so I typed it in, and it says it's over here, like this one aisle or one shelf, and I'm like, oh, awesome, man, it's really cool. Anyway, I went for a nice run this morning. I got a training tip for you. In the summer, if you live where it's really hot, like Texas, unbelievably hot in the summer, it's at least 90 degrees right now and really high humidity, wind coming off the Gulf. And there's a method to training. Training in high heat really compromises your training. So you'll notice that if you ride your bike, that it's actually cooler, and because you got a lot of wind flow, than if you're running, right? So what you do is, in the morning, it's cooler, right? And in the afternoon, it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And also, well, wait, hold on. So I went running, and I took my dog with me, and we ran for an hour and a half, and it started at like 7:30 in the morning. And it was really nice. Oh, last night Emily and I went and saw the movie Chef, which is really good. If you got kids, it's actually even better. And then and I recommend you go see it because it really shows how people get into like good quality food and what really matters in life and stuff. It's pretty cool. And discovering yourself and getting into what you're really into, like so a lot of us is endurance sports and triathlon and self-realization kind of stuff. And then so I'm running this morning, and usually I would bike in the morning, but now I'm running in the morning now that it's summer, and the run was much, much better than if it was like super duper hot. And it was hot enough as it is. Probably 85 degrees, 80, let's say at least 80 degrees. But it's before the sun got up real high, hour and a half. And I ran for an hour with the dog and then dropped him off and ran another half hour. And then in the afternoon, when it's super, super hot, but the sun starts going down, so you don't get so much sun exposure, you can go for a bike ride. And the wind blowing by you cools you down a lot, and it's actually better than what a lot of people do is bike in the morning and then run in the evening. This is it's different than what I normally do, and so this is like a different way of doing it, and you change with the seasons. Actually, in the winter, a lot of people will run in the morning and then bike in the middle of the day so that they're warm. And you get better training out of it. Getting really, really hot during training compromises your training. It makes you so dehydrated that you're actually, your recovery time from that, you're just not getting in a good workout. You're so overly effed. And then, what else? I was going to say, it was kind of cool. I was thinking back of when I first started out running, and I remember one time, like, running 8 miles was just epic, And today I finished running for an hour and a half, and then I looked down at my watch when I finished my Sunto Ambit 2, which kicks ass. I can't wait till they come out with the next one. I so hope it has Bluetooth on it. It'd be so cool. Like alerts. And then I looked down and I've run 10.6 miles or something like that. I ran for an hour and a half. I ran at a 9:09 pace, a 9-minute, 9-second pace. And I was purposefully running hills, what we call hills in my town, which is really nothing. But, if it was flat, it'd probably be a sub 9, for an hour and a half. And I'm like, wow, how far have I come? How far have we all come, by just training and being consistent and sticking with it, not training too hard so you don't get injured, and yeah, I mean, I haven't been like seriously injured in a long time. Even when I did crack my ribs earlier this year, I still trained on it. That was from falling down. That really wasn't from overuse. Tripping over a root while trail running, carrying a fully loaded Camelback and water bottle, so I was so top heavy, and then slammed into the ground. That freaking hurt. All right, I gotta put gas in my car. Out. Well, that was a crappy swim. Ugh. I'm driving back to my house after driving to the gym that has a pool and paying $10 for a single day pass, because that's all I ever use that gym for, to use the pool. Got in and started swimming in it. It just sucked. And after I felt like I was dying forever, I looked and it had only been 15 minutes. So I was like, man, I want to quit and go do something else, except I paid $10. It's a problem with training. Is like that's one way you get overtrained, is you commit to something, and then when it starts sucking, you're like, well, I put all these resources into doing it. $10 for half an hour, that's a really poor return on investment. And for swimming, for a gym. And so I was trying to figure out, I finished, I swam kind of hard, kind of here and there, and then I decided to cut it at half an hour. So as it got close to half an hour, I swam butterfly for a little bit, because I figured that would, I haven't swum butterfly much at all lately, and so I figured that would do me in pretty good, which it did. And then got out after 30 minutes. And then trying to figure out what made me feel like crap. And there's two suspects. One is, as I was getting ready to leave the house, and I had a small half a cup of ice cream, half a slender coffee mug of ice cream, and I was like, well, maybe the sugar crash from that, probably. It was just a treat. It's in the summer. It's the afternoon, And then, what was the other thing? Oh, I've been switching over from coffee to green tea, and like I was saying earlier, there's slightly different kinds of caffeine. It's pretty much the same, but I have a headache, and I'm like, I wonder if it's caffeine withdrawal. If caffeine withdrawal is actually making things worse, and maybe it is. So kind of feels like it for sure. Anyway, that's it. I'm gonna have a cup of coffee and take a nap. They don't seem like they go together, do they? But they will today. All right, out, bang. Hey, I thought I was recording, and I'm not. I'm in the shade of a big shaggy oak, or sycamore or something. Sycamore? Looks like a sycamore. I don't know what this tree is. Maybe I'll have to find out. And taking a pause to cool down in the breeze and some shade so that I stop sweating so much. I can put on some sunscreen, because it's getting to be 10 o'clock, and I'm halfway through a 3-hour bike ride. It's really nice out here in the countryside. 2-lane highway, no shoulder, but no traffic almost. 70 mile per hour speed limit. But there's hardly ever anybody out here. Seen lots of snakes, unfortunately dead snakes in the road, and saved a turtle, which was nice. And got him out of the road right before a car came along. And then something else happened. I'm fueling with EFS, and I'm at about, I'm doing 300 calories per hour, and I think that's a little low. I think I need more like 350. But I think I'm going to run out of fuel. I've got it mixed into a clear bottle so I can see how fast I've gone through it. My fuel, a 3-hour fuel bottle. It's a really good trick. You know, you make a fuel bottle for the length of your ride, and then you just pace yourself through it. And take a glug of fuel, and then rinse your mouth out with water. Swallow it, and it's a little bit more water. In fact, I need some water right now. And keep your water and your fuel separate for sure. If you didn't know that one, it's always a good tip. That way you can take on more fuel without. You can take on more hydration if you need it without messing up your stomach with fuel. And that's an old one. Oldie but a goodie. And I'm doing about 300 calories per hour, but I think I need more like 350, which would be pretty typical. And then I think that's it. I'm going to put on some sunscreen, man. Get the hell out of here. Halfway through a 3-hour ride. It's nice. Yeah. Let's do this. Uh-oh, here comes the truck. Better quit jacking around. All right. Hey, birdies. How are y'all doing? All right, I think that's a show. Whew, man. I knocked out an hour run last night. That ended up being 4 hours for the day. On Sunday, Kai's on a road trip. So it's easy to get in a little bit bigger volume. And ran with the dog, and very, very hot. Had to spray him down with the hose before we got going, and then let him swim in a pond when we were almost done. And that definitely helps them stay cooler. Dogs can't sweat, so they get overheated really easily. And I think the high today is 92, and later on in the week it's 94. And I'm outside right now, and it's even though it's not even 7 a.m. yet, and it's 90% humidity, I think, 91% humidity. So that's what we're dealing with here in Texas. But let's see. So yesterday I used EFS on the bike as a fuel, and it's pretty high in sodium, and I went by feel instead of by calories, and I ended up having a really nice day because of it. My point is that if you do a big training day, a lot of times as the day goes on, you get more and more exhausted. When you finish a ride, a long ride, say a 3-hour ride like I did, you have no energy. That's a sign you underfueled. Needing to collapse and take naps and rest and overeat, pig out when you're done. That means you didn't eat enough during. And yesterday I did chores around the house after I finished my bike ride. I worked on the front door. We got some driveway cracks that I was filling with caulk and the caulk gun. And then after dinner, I went for a run with the dog for an hour. And that was the speed and the ease of the run was actually a really good indicator of good fueling. I ran an 8:45 or an 8:46 pace for an hour, and that's after biking 60 miles earlier today. And that's with the dog, yanking on me and pulling me around and sideways and everything. And that's a sign. Oh, and then this morning I woke up and weighed myself, and I'm not dehydrated, and weight had actually stayed level or dropped a little bit over the past few days. So a thumbs up for EFS, except it's too expensive. All this stuff's really expensive, And sorry, Emily came outside and was looking at me. Let's see, next episodes, I have an interview already recorded with some women that are, one of them is sight impaired and visually impaired, blind. I don't know the politically correct term. And that's going to be a really cool episode. They're a team where one of them helps the other, and one of them got the one that's blind has qualified for Kona. Oh, lottery qualified for Kona, but whatever. It's going to be really, really cool. It's a cool episode. And I want to give you a couple tips while I was running. Oh, yeah, the interval work that I've done over the past, a couple months, few months, has really paid off, because I could tell on my run this evening that I was actually, my run form had changed, and I was leaning more forward, which gives me a more aggressive run, which makes me faster. But at the same time, it wasn't bothering me to do so. Like I'd settled into that as a more natural form, so I was able to do it economically. So what, a different technique will be faster than another technique, but because it's different, it's not economical, because you're not used to doing it. And for a long while, it'll, raise your heart rate, burn more calories. And while I was running last night, so then it's not as it's not as fast for the long haul. It's fast for a short haul, but not as fast for a long haul, because it ends up wearing you out. But last night I was running for an hour, and as the hour went on, I kept running this way, and I was lengthening out my stride and pushing off better, and the slight leaning forward, so that when you push off the ground, it pushes you forward, instead of, if you don't lean forward enough, when you push off the ground, it just pushes you up. So the more you lean forward to a point, the faster you go. You just gotta get used to it. And I was doing it. It was really, really nice. So I had a nice run, and I think that's about it. Oh, and I woke up this morning and was sitting there going, should I work out or not? Oh, I have a new technique. Here you go. If you can't get up on time in the morning without an alarm clock, then you needed to sleep in. That's what I decided this morning. I had some problems with my phone the other day, and I had to reset the settings because my screen was acting all crazy. The person on support was like, well, reset your settings. And I'm like, well, it's going to mess everything up. They're like, no, it won't. Well, of course it did. It lost all of my alarms on my phone, for example. And since that happened, I haven't put any back in. And what I've noticed is that if I'm recovered enough and I'm ready to train, I automatically wake up early enough, and I don't need the alarm. And if I'm not recovered enough, let's say I like to get up at 5 o'clock, right? So this morning I got up. If I'm going to go swim, I need to get up at 5 so that I can get all my stuff together and then go swim. Well, this morning I rolled over and I looked at my watch, and the Sunto Ambit 2 has just this killer back screen light on it. It's pretty rad. I turned it on. It like blinds you, which is good. And I turn it on and I'm like, whoa, it's 5:15. I'm tired. I don't feel like rushing. There you go. That's it's time to sleep in, and then and it's time to rest. And today I rested. I didn't go swim, and I'm gonna sit and recover. The Sammy style interval stuff that I did really did teach me the value of recovery, and to take time off, that you get addicted to doing more and more volume, and it's not necessarily better. So I was like, well, just sleep in and relax and chill, and you'll actually, that was a sign. The sign that you didn't get up in time is a sign that you needed to sleep in and recover. And then as I was getting ready this morning, walking around, I knew I was right, because I was doing something. A couple times this morning, I'm moving around and picking things up, and I'm like, oh, I need to go in this room and do something, right? Turn on the shower, but then I'm like, oh, I need to go grab this thing over here. And as I'm going through almost kind of not really quick motions, I notice my heart rate jumps up, and I have to catch my breath a little bit. And I'm like, yep, that's it. That's a sign. You need to rest. And so that's what I'm doing. All right, so that's it for this episode. I want everybody to stay safe out there. Whew. It's a hot, hot summer if you're in the northern hemisphere. And lots of races going on, so be careful. You can't race if you crash. So don't crash. And everybody stay safe out there. Work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down. Out.